Hey, everybody, I'm Mike.
I'm Tim.
I'm Mathue.
Yes.
This is the Board Game Rundown, and we are live from two of our basements as we cover games from the ground up. Welcome, everybody. It's Whiskey Wednesday. We've got Mathue Ryann with us, the TikTok king, a.k.a. the windbreaker and fanny pack connoisseur from Envy Born Games. Welcome, Matt.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate the.
I thought you would have said Lord of the Fanny Packs. That's where I would have gone.
He's a connoisseur.
You know? I like your introduction, but you guys have seen my newest business card, correct?
No.
It has my new official title, according to the business card, is Head Honcho of Board Games and Fanny Pack Fashion. So
yes.
So I saw that, and I believe that made it into the description of this video.
Nice.
Well done. Well,
good stuff, man. I love your energy, Matt. It's always fun and playful. I mean, we talk about and you publish games. If it's not fun, why the hell are we doing it, right?
It's the only reason I do it.
Exactly right.
Love it.
Jim, it's not my night to watch Bob. I don't know where he is. I imagine he's somewhere, probably working a machine. He'll be back.
Probably working.
Where are you, Bob?
Anyways, so as was pointed out in a comment on Facebook, we are long overdue to have Matt back on the show. But the thing is this guy is chock full of, like, his date book's filled with, fashion shows, hot dates, all kinds of stuff. So we got him in as
conventions.
We got him in as soon as we could. But he's everywhere. So
appreciate working around my schedule there.
I'm just glad we were able to fit in a 25-minute window tonight to get you in there. But no, man, seriously, this was long overdue. Really glad to have you back, and look forward to actually being able to hang out a little bit longer tonight than last time. So
yeah. Sorry about that last time.
Nah, man, come on.
I should have just stayed, but obviously didn't go anywhere. So wait, are we allowed to start drinking whiskey already? I didn't know. I just have my glassed ice ready.
Yeah. You better put something really in there.
Kind of went along the wayside. We barely talk about it. It's already poured and we're drinking it before we start.
Okay. Listen, you don't know my life, man. Sometimes I gotta be.
What's everyone drinking tonight?
I have just finished off a Woodford Reserve.
Good stuff.
Ooh,
I really like that.
I'm gonna miss it.
Saw that bottle of Bullet.
Yeah, I went Bullet. I mean, Bullet's. It's a staple.
I like stuff.
I like Bullet.
Yeah, I like
Bullet's
it.
solid.
It's not super fancy or nothing, but it gets the job done.
Listen, man, this ain't church. I can, just give me something to get me going.
And as a true scam, I'm drinking water because I had whiskey last night.
Oh my goodness. I can't believe it. You knew I was going to be here for Whiskey Wednesday.
Yeah, I know.
Tim, what's going on with this guy, Tim?
Oh, Jim, that's my boy. He's down in he's a Texan, man. If he's not throwing shade, yes. I'd be disappointed. And no, I'm not drinking vodka tonight, but this guy. Oh yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know.
So, real quick for the people at home, let's talk about the topic you picked, Mathue. We, of course, want to plug the stuff that you do, and then we'll jump into that topic.
Awesome. Yeah. So, for the topic, I picked top 5 sport illustration covers.
Yes.
Oh, wow. My Google searches would have been way different.
Whatever. No, we'll go back to the old one.
So, I left it to the wire where I was being attacked by Tim and Mike in a chat on Facebook. Like, what's the topic? I'm like,
yeah.
But the topic is top 5 movies / TV shows that have been turned into board games. So our favorite board games that are using a movie or TV show IP. I want
Yes.
to be
Pick.
right.
And we haven't covered it before, so it makes it an even better pick.
Go
We've
me.
done IPs, and I think there's some movies mentioned, but we've never done all movies and show games. So awesome.
I feel like we're gonna have some overlap. I mean,
I've got some.
Yeah.
I've got some alternates to make
Yeah.
sure that I don't that we can cover all the games. Well, all the ones we want to talk about.
That's usually how it goes. So Matt, why'd you pick that one anyway?
well, like I said, I wanted to do a topic that I haven't seen before. Not that I've seen every single show. Admittedly, I apologize for that, but I thought that would be something unique we could go over. Versus, like, Ammon told me to do top 5 designers and just say him 5 times in a row, and I was like, I'm not gonna do that, man.
Not yet. I haven't played Gnome Hollow yet. After I played Gnome Hollow,
Are you kidding me?
I'm really excited about that game, and I really want to meet Ammon. He was at the booth, and I met him. I met him, but like you guys were recording, and you guys were at the table at Gen Con, while I was like talking to people that were walking by, so I didn't really get a chance to talk to him.
You'll meet him at Origins and at Gen Con, so he's great. You're gonna love him. He's hilarious.
We just need to have him on the show, Mike. What are we doing?
Regardless if the op doesn't, I don't think they're going to be at Gen Con though, unfortunately.
Who's
the
that?
op?
The op?
The op will 1,000,000% be it.
That's where they're releasing Gnome Hollow.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Sorry, I got them switched with somebody else that isn't going to be.
I was going to say, you may not be drinking whiskey, but you must be imbibing something else because.
No, I got 2 publishers mixed up that I thought were going to be there. We're good.
You heard it here first.
If they don't let us cover it, I'm just buying it. So.
Oh, it's great.
Full disclosure.
The game's a lot of fun. Ammon's a great guy. I said back in SaltCon of 2023, I met Ammon because he was making stickers for me for actually my Gnome game, Mind Your Business. So I met him at SaltCon, and I played Gnome Hollow for the first time, and I was like, game of the year whenever this releases. I'm calling it now. So
nice.
It's like mid-2024, so I don't know if it is early enough to get the awards for 2024 or will fall in the 2025 bracket, but this game's going to win awards.
Nice.
Mathue, full stop. I remember you being the first one that was talking about this game. I specifically remember that. I really do. So that is the only game I 100% will buy at Origins.
Nice.
So anything else is just cherry Gen Con.
Gen Con release.
Jeez. So full stop. That's the only one I guarantee I'll buy. So anywho.
Make sure you stop by my booth too and say hi.
Well, I'm
have some nice promo.
Of course, stopping by your booth.
We should have done, since he did like a or a Gnome game the same time you were doing a Gnome game. We should just be like top 5 reasons he's a monster and stole all of your thunder, and then it could just all be Gnome Hollow.
Yeah,
it's still a show completely dedicated to Gnome Hollow, and we could talk about how great it is. We could also then talk about Mind Your Business and why you should, while you're waiting for Gnome Hollow, go out and get Mind Your Business.
Completely different games. But what was funny when I was talking to him about making stickers for the game, he was like, full disclosure, I'm working on a Gnome game too. I don't want you to think I'm stealing your game or ideas. I'm like, yeah, no, I don't think that.
No, yeah, and that's always kind of the awkward thing, right? When people show up like, oh, hey, I just happened to make a same thing. Actually, there might be something on my list that talks about that tonight.
Ooh, okay, no spoilers.
Oh, wow. Definitely not a spoiler there at all.
Well, only spoils it for you, Mike. Matt doesn't know,
right? So Matt's done tons of great things in the hobby too, of course. So let's talk about Envy Born Games. This guy makes TikToks, and how many games have you published in just the last 2 years? 1, 2, 3.
I guess in the last 2 years, under my brand, 4. Some of those aren't out yet. Like Kalahari's not quite out yet. So
right.
You'll be demoing that one at Origins, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna bring. It's actually right there behind me. This is a very early prototype. We're gonna try and get some nicer ones made. But yeah, I've been playing that on TTS with a lot of people, and 9.5 out of 10 people always like it. So
Nice.
Really want to
Nice.
play that one.
And
It's those weird
5
half
out of
people.
5 dentists recommend Kalahari as well.
Listen.
That never happens. So, yeah.
I haven't
Listen.
heard of that.
I guess if you can get Evan to play it, you can also like add chiropractors to the list.
Dude, I have I can't wait to see Evan because I have something really funny to tell him when I see him.
Much like this guy. Well, he might be in the chat here. You better watch it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm zipping it for now then.
I thought Mathue was here tonight to talk about Game and Go. Was that not?
Oh my
I'm
goodness.
just kidding.
Oh my goodness.
I just wanted to set the world on fire for a minute.
You know my dark origin story that's buried and locked away in a closet.
Well, what's terrible is, that horrible thing is the reason why I even know you.
Yeah.
But who cares? Anyways, from the ashes rises a phoenix in a fanny pack.
Yeah.
So you're all good.
It's funny. I was actually talking to George Jordis. I'm sure a lot of people know him in this chat. He makes all the videos for a lot of the Kickstarter videos. But we were talking about, he's like, look how far you've come. We had such that like rough time there, and like it was awful, and it was more of like a learning experience of things never to do. But
hey man,
just
that's the thing.
Forward.
You come out of it stronger and better, right? That's all that matters.
Yeah. Look at those games there.
I'm
a little upset. Sirens dropped from an 8 to a 7.9 today. So
those bastards.
So unfortunately, I was saying earlier, Confusing Lands is the only one that we've played so far, and this is probably the most strategic game that you can play in like 10 minutes. I swear to you. I really appreciate games that are low on rules overhead and actually just give you a lot to think about. And I think it does it well.
The thing I love about Confusing Lands is Zach and I were able to keep the rules to literally a single page. It's a double-sided piece of paper. And I'm like, that it feels so good. And half of it's just for reference, really. So, but we actually have promo cards in the work for the base version of Confusing Lands. And we have an expansion in the works as well.
Ooh.
Yeah, you heard it here first.
Easy game to expand upon, I would think.
It's going to be Strange Weather.
Oh, I love it. Confusing weather, even. Sorry.
I like that comment from the pool 142.
Oh, that's Googs.
Yep, that's Giuliano for sure.
Yeah, I just went on and rated Sirens, so people can go kick rocks.
Let's go.
I apologize that I didn't rate it already. I'm terrible about going on BGG and rating games.
All good. Actually, I mean, so Confusing Lands, I think overall is sitting at like 14,000 rating. I'm like, hope I can get that down to like 9,000 or so. We'll see. I don't know. I'm starting to have like little goals. I mean, the rating system and all that on BGG isn't the most accurate, thing.
Well, you get people that hate rate. Yeah.
Yeah.
I try to be pretty fair. I mean, and I do this live all the time. So sorry that I'm putting you on the spot.
I'll take
in the review. I gave it a fair 7.5, but you're on our show, so you get the half point bump.
Let's go.
Mike,
and you're a good
shill.
Dude. So so that helps too. Yeah, I'm the shill. This is rich. But see, I log my play so you can know I've played it. I've played it enough to know it's a good game. So
I like that.
Mike's ratings have no integrity.
I actually have a rating system that I developed before I came on the show. Damn it!
How do we do the 0.5 or like 0.8? Like I saw a rating the other day, it was an 8.8. It was like, I didn't know we could do partial. Like
I only do. I will do half points. I will do half points.
You could do that on BGG.
If you
just manually go in and put in an 8.5.
Yeah. If you do it from like your collection, you can just type into that rating box the number that you want instead of. So actually, here you go.
It's not a 6. I want to be somewhere in the middle.
So. For example, we're doing BGG training here.
Is that a video game on there?
So
Age
good.
Of Empires 3? That was made.
That is, yeah.
Is it after the video game? Because that was my Age of Empires 2. I still play it to this day.
Hell yeah!
And that became Empire's Age of Discovery.
Yes.
Oh wow! I didn't know that.
which I have over here somewhere. It's one of my all-time favorite games.
He's a
It's
favorite
great.
friend of the show.
Yeah.
I need
He was
to
like-
see this game. Can you click
He
the
was
link
one of the
up?
first like kind of bigger designers that like we got to meet too. So pretty cool. Glenn Drover's a good dude.
Wait,
too.
but it's after the video game Age of Empires?
It is. Yeah.
Kinda.
This one was loosely, you know,
I mean, that's like
loosely.
the cover. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, it was they had the IP for it. It was
That is awesome. I
It's
mean,
an
Age of Empires
old
3, what the video game was terrible. But Age of Empires 2, there's still updates coming out to this day for it. And I still play it. Like, there's still being updates for it, like expansions.
I tried to play
think it's the best
4.
RTS hands down of all time.
Ah.
4, I did not. I gave it a chance, but just didn't connect like 2.
Yeah, I tried it only because it was free on Game Pass, and I was like,
Yeah.
The way you do this, by the way, so you go into your rating here.
Oh,
So it's here where you can just type it in.
I'm gonna have to switch some of my ratings up then.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was an option, but no, it's gonna change.
Yeah, you just
people's scores.
If you do it from the game area here, like it only gives you this. Actually, I think you can type it there too.
Oh wow, nice.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting. I'm waiting for
go.
Age of Empires to come to iPad. It's expected in August of 2024.
I could not imagine playing it on the iPad, but that's.
I played the crap out of it on PC, ages ago.
Yeah,
but
I
don't
still play it. Like that's literally the only video game I play. Really,
I don't have a good PC, and I now just am a console gamer. So
it's a 20-year-old, 25-year-old game. Your PC can handle it.
Yeah,
I gotta say though, Age of Empires 3, the board game, was probably the first worker placement game I remember where workers did different things. You had like some workers that focused on combat and others focus on other things.
exploration.
Yeah.
That
That was the first one I remember. The first one I played that did all that stuff. But holds up. I mean, they really just changed the IP for that new version.
It's Bob and I. It's Bob and I. One of Bob and I's favorite games. I love it.
It's very good.
Anyways, you guys got okay. So we talked about MV Born. We got.
I make tiny games. Check them out. MVBoardGames.com.
Yes, there we go.
We'll be at Origins and Gen Con.
There you go. Do you know your booth number by any chance?
I do. I have it written down on this wall next to me. At Origins, I'm booth 1127, and at Gen Con, I am booth 3058, which is in the Entrepreneur Avenue area because I'm a first-time vendor, which I'm very excited to be.
Dude, that's so cool. That is awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, because your Sirens, Defrag, and 16 Candies is like a box set, right? Like you get.
Well, that was more of like a Kickstarter thing.
Okay.
But that was like volume 1. But I plan on doing like another Kickstarter launch with 3 more games and be volume 2 kind of thing.
Yeah.
But you can buy them all separate and stuff like that. You don't have to buy them as a set. But I'll have a limited amount of confusing lands at Origins as well. Because I had a few cartons shipped to me in advance. But I'm still waiting for the entire pallet to get shipped here. So But I'll have more of that for Gen Con. So Gen Con will be more of like an official release for it.
Right on. But people can get that they could sneak in and get that early copy at Origins if they want.
They could even order from my website. It's more of like Origins is like the pre-release of like in-person purchases, and then Gen Con's like the release.
Official release. Hell yeah. You got your soft release and then your real release.
Yeah.
Mike, you got anything you want to share before we go into the topic?
Yeah. So I backed a game and it showed up today. Ooh. And it's Charcuterie the board game from Third World Studios.
Like
please tell me it didn't come with a cheese bag.
It definitely came with a cheese bag.
Oh, come on. Googs was supposed to take the bag out of there before you got it.
Well, awesome. He was slacking. I am not surprised. But so we got sent this game to preview it. So played it a few times and then shot a video. And I don't always back the games that we get sent for previews. I'm kind of selective about this, but I thought as far as like approachable, again, I like light games that have really interesting decisions. And I split You Choose in this game that has these amazing watercolors on this cheese bag. I couldn't help myself. And I was just super impressed with how fast it fulfilled. Like I backed that in November and it showed up in June. So I haven't even backed a game that's fulfilled that quickly. It looks gorgeous. It's fun to play. So like legitimately as like a fan of this game, I just wanted to be share my excitement. Because I'm pretty stoked to play this with some friends that don't game a whole lot. I got this one friend that every time she invites people over, she throws out this huge charcuterie spread every time. And
Perfect.
they're like my bowling teammates, and they don't game a whole lot, but they game enough to where like if I show them a game they like, they'll buy it.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, who's gonna buy this game in the middle of playing the game? So like I just know that's gonna happen. I know some people that'll really enjoy playing this. My parents will like playing it. So like as a fan of good fun games that also look great, like the watercoloring on this is insane. Like those crackers look like real crackers to me. Like
I'm hungry now.
I know,
Yeah.
Why
right?
have you
Like
done this to me?
They need to create like replacement pieces for the ones that accidentally get eaten.
Please don't eat the cardboard.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was just looks great. It's fun to play. And they should have copies also available at Origins and Gen Con. So
I would
there
like
you
to say, oh, go ahead.
Oh no, go on. Were you gonna? This is a question for you when we're done talking about charcuterie.
I was just gonna say that I know it's a co-design. My friend Whitney is one of the co-designers on it, and I keep trying to get her to make a tiny game for me. So
Hell yeah.
if anyone
Nice.
sees Whitney at these conventions, tell her she's got to make a tiny game for them. You want
That's
to
gonna
get
be like, hey,
serious
when's
with
your
it.
tiny game coming out? Just
Yeah.
like keep.
Yeah. Just
I
let's
heard-
plant that seed.
Yeah, I heard you were doing a tiny game. Like, I can't wait to see it. Like, if you, yeah.
Perfect.
So this is a question for Envyborn over here. Do you have distributors in Asia? Because we do have an Asian, well, not Asian, but somebody in Asia that's watching.
Right. Right now, I work with VFI for fulfillment, and they have some extra units on consignment. I know they did solicit Confusing Lands to, I think, some retail and distribution channels in the area, but I don't know too much about that other than that they have some of my products on consignment. So you might be able to get it from there, or if you know somebody I should be reaching out to for distribution,
There you go.
hey, I'm all ears. Give me the plug, man. Let me get that plug.
You know what? We should, I don't know, like, do you know Seth Hyatt from Mayday?
That was the first person
No.
I thought of.
No.
Yeah. All right. We'll talk to him because
Cool.
I'm sure he knows about Asian distribution.
He
I feel
knows
like
more about it.
Well, in Japan, because I understand is they like really small, tiny kind of games that don't have a huge footprint and stuff like that. So I'd love to get my products, everywhere in the world. But yeah, I'd love to be in Asia more available.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Something I'm working on. So I have a warehouse in Australia and in the UK now. So it makes it a little bit easier for people in different regions of the world. So still kind of building that infrastructure out.
Nice.
That's pretty awesome, though. Wow. You're worldwide, prestige worldwide.
Why?
Mr. Worldwide.
No, Mike, you missed it.
Oh, whoops.
Step Brothers.
Yeah, you got to get on their boats and hose. Fingerless gloves.
Such a good movie.
Dude, I just watched it. Like, I walked in the other day and my wife was halfway through it. I'm like, you're watching this without me?
How dare you?
So then I just sat down and watched the rest with her. I got something non-board game related. A miracle happened in my house. My daughter has, I tried years ago to teach my daughter how to ride a bike. She didn't want to do it. She's like, this is too hard. I don't like it. Then like last week, she wanted to try to learn how to ride her bike. So we started practicing a little. like doing a couple little like things they say to train, like learn how to glide, like walk with your feet and kind of learn how to glide, kick your feet up and try to learn to keep your balance. We wait like a couple of days. We go back out. She gets on the bike and just starts riding it. And I'm like, holy shit.
That's
Wonderful.
awesome.
So it's like a dad win. And then, and then my son, he's 7. He plays little league. He tried out for the all-star team and made it. So, but now we got to go to like tournaments.
Yeah,
you know, it's like, damn it. Yeah, but that's all right. I'm really excited. So I had two good things out of a million bad things that I've done as a parent.
Awesome.
So I'm gonna take it and be happy for it. So that's
win's a win.
That's it. You got to take them. As a Cubs fan, you know, we're used to winning twice a year. And so I got my 2 wins. I could go back to the cave and just hide out.
I saw when Mike was sharing screen, one of his screens said, one of his tabs said Cubs rule or something like that.
Oh, probably.
Does. That's the name of one of my fantasy baseball leagues.
Ah, okay.
He also, when you said Sports Illustrated,
lose in that league.
Yeah.
What?
Huh?
Nothing. When you said Sports Illustrated covers, Mike was going to have to go through and like see. He's got like that naked Javi Baez cover. I'm sure there's a Pete Crow Armstrong cover. Like he's got some covers in there that he'd get pretty worked up and sweaty about.
Okay.
Yeah, still hanging on to that Anthony Rizzo one there, Tim. Careful.
There you go. Careful. Well, you know, the pages are all stuck together, but it's still.
That's what happens.
I can't believe you've been going through my collection. This is ridiculous.
Well, I wanted to see
specific details. Jeez.
We're learning a lot about each other.
Yeah. Oh, hi, Mathue. Did you not know this is what we do to each other?
Oh, I love that. Kids wins, yeah.
Woo-woo. But anyways, I am excited about this topic because I am a freaking movie nerd, as people might have learned from watching the show for more than 30 seconds. And then you watch Mike's eyes glaze over as I go nuts about movies with whoever.
Yeah, we got some games to talk about, about shows and movies. So, Tim, you gonna start us off, and then how are we doing this?
Yeah, I'll start us off. I'll start us off, and then we'll go Mathue, and then you.
Sounds good. All right, I'm going with the full segues. It's number 5.
I see how it is. Mike starts drinking water, and now he gets all responsible and professional. All right, I'm going to go with sort of. It's kind of a stretch, but it's not a stretch.
It's your list. It's already a stretch.
Interesting.
Listen, have you guys seen the movie The Prestige?
Mm-hmm.
With Christian Bale and Michael Caine. Anyways, Tricarion, right? Tricarion from Mind Clash Games. You are stage magicians building tricks, building up your whole act. It's a very, very crunchy worker placement, contract fulfillment-y kind of game. But Tricarion is very much like that age of Magic. There's no David Bowie as Tesla in there or anything like that, but there should be. But Tricarion was one of the first games I thought of when I was like, oh, that would be a good one that like people don't necessarily directly link. And it's not directly linked, but it is 1,000,000% inspired, right? It's the same vibe. It's the same atmosphere. And you're all rival magicians trying to,
it was a weird,
we did.
It was a weird segue in the conversation there.
Yeah, we are the hard cuts. We just right record
nice
scratch. Yeah,
this is par for Tim's list here. I'm just waiting for the cannibalism.
Listen, I almost said there's no cannibalism on my list, but I can't.
Oh,
I can't say that. But Tricarion, seriously, if you like the Prestige and you like crunchy, like heavier weight board games, this is going to be your jam. You're going to really dig this. It's really good. Like everything Mind Clash, the production values are beautiful. Everything looks great. The art on the cards is all awesome. but it's really cool. It's a really
I love
cool
this
game.
part of the board.
Yeah, that's where you are presenting your tricks. So you're doing your stage show. And so you're going to get points based on that. So quit barking at me, Mike.
I've wanted to play this so bad, and I still have it.
Well, I don't know anybody who has it. I'm sure Bob has it, and I have it.
You still have it.
Yeah.
And you guys haven't played it either. No, you guys have played it.
Just not with you.
It's a shame.
Oh, see? Okay, so yeah.
I love this theme too.
Oh, the theme's great. Again,
either.
The vibe, the art's awesome. I love it. I'm such a nerd. I read the book that the Prestige was based on. And so when I found out there was a game about like that era of stage magicians, I'm like, yes, sign me up.
A 4.25.
It's like a little heavy. It's like, so Confusing Lands is like a 4.1, right? Yeah. So this is like right there.
Wow. All right.
So it's got 3 rules.
Yeah. Tricarion has twice as many rules as Confusing Lands does, minimum.
I would try it out for sure, but 4.25 is a little heavy, but I would definitely try it still.
It's like like any Mind Clash game, Anachrony, like these are like appointment games. You don't just like people roll out. You're like, hey, what do you want to play? Like, and I'm going to pull this off my shelf. Like, no, Tricarion, you brush. It's like playing a Lacerda. You brush up on the rules, and just, do your best.
Day. People are ready for it.
I gotta do research ahead of time.
A little bit. Yeah, it takes some homework, but man, it's really good. It's really good. Yeah, you need to write down 2 lists. So the Prestige, if you haven't seen it, fantastic movie. And Tricarion, fantastic board game, but definitely not for everybody because it's slightly heavy. Also, that box is probably 15 pounds. It's heavy. I mean, I got like a deluxe edition, but it's a big boy.
Sounds like a logistics nightmare.
It's, that big,
So that's a good pick. I really got to play that.
Again, I wanted to go something like just a little off the beaten path so that I knew, like, if I'm leading with one, there's probably not going to be any crossover with that one. So I don't step on anybody else's lists.
I was going to say, my picks are a little more generic.
So. No. But a lot of my other ones will be like way more on the nose. Like this was sort of inspired, again, why it's a 5 and not like number 1. So
I'm glad that Tim did that because then it'll justify one I put higher up.
Oh, are we supposed to do these in like an order of like?
It doesn't matter, but they are in order of how much I enjoy playing them.
Mine are in order of the order I read them.
Okay. Mine are in the order of randomness.
Yeah. Agent of Chaos. Let's go.
Is it my turn?
Sure is.
It is.
All right. So for transparency reasons, I actually haven't played this game, but I've seen it a few times and I really would love to play it. But and as a kid, I kind of grew up watching this, and it's the most hated Star Wars sequel ever or prequel ever. But I loved it as a kid growing up. But the Queen's Gambit.
Dude.
Gambit. So I've seen it at conventions a few times, and it has the most amazing table presence ever. Because it's like multiple layers and entire armies. And I have not gotten to play it, unfortunately. And it's like a grail game for so many people, which, yeah, look at that. Like, that looks so cool.
Yeah.
And to me, it just seems really cool. Again, I know everyone hates that prequel, but I was a kid at the time. I thought it was the coolest thing ever.
Dude, I'm not going to yuck your Star Wars yum. So.
But, yeah, I just, every now and then I'll see it at a convention and I'll be like, I'll sit there and just watch a little bit. I'm like, hey, you mind if I watch?
What re-implemented? This was re-implemented, right, Mike? But it doesn't have the 3 tiers.
Wasn't it turned into Star Wars Risk?
Okay, I think it was. I have Star Wars Risk, the black box edition,
but
which is really good. I really enjoy that quite a bit.
The Risk version of it.
Yeah, I mean, it says Risk, but it is not Risk.
Gotcha.
It's not. No, it
But like,
definitely plays
it's
very
like
differently.
Hasbro slapped Risk on it, and they did
You're
two
not
different
wrong.
editions. They did like a black edition, and then they did the regular retail edition.
Yeah, I think this one's like a Grail game for people. I think they sell for like $600.
Yeah, hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
Hundreds
You're
of
talking
dollars.
about this one, Tim?
Yeah. Hold on a second.
Yeah, I've played this one.
Oh wow! What in the Risk is that?
Yeah, so you're putting troops out into the board and stuff, but like
I've
you're
played Fanny and
also
Risk. It never looked like that before.
there's also like a
Yeah,
timer
that's-
on each side that's like your win condition. So you're pushing your win condition up by doing certain things. While also being slightly a war game.
Looks nice.
Yeah, the black edition's really cool. Like I said, I held out for that one. It's got like a foam core insert.
I thought that was supposed to be a re-implementation of Queen's Gambit.
This comes with a
But
golden.
yeah, this one, yeah, it just looks so epic though.
You have like entire armies. Like it's, I don't know. I haven't gotten to play it. I saw it at BGG Spring recently, and then the only other time I saw it was at it was I can't remember. It's a convention. It's more of like it's a very small convention in California, but
Not like Kubla Khan or something, right?
no, it wasn't that one. It was a different one. I think it was called Pacificon is what it
Oh,
was.
okay.
And I saw some people playing it there, and I'm like, man, I really want to play this one day.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, I do too. I've heard about this one and just never looked into trying to get one.
I mean, it seems way ahead of its time for like the 2000 game release,
Yeah.
right? Like it seems
Yeah.
like it was like on a different level. So yeah, I haven't gotten to play it. Obviously, I love Star Wars IP, yeah, so I had to give this one some love.
Dude,
This one-
that game looks incredible. Yeah, I like you. I've seen it, and it's like, oh, it's that one you whisper as you walk by, like, oh, they've got Queen's Gambit. Did you see that?
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, everybody that talks about this one really hypes it up too. I've heard it's a great game, and for this ranking and this score for a 25-year-old game, I mean that says a lot, really.
Yeah, it's a Grail. Good. You know, people want that thing.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a great pick.
Did anyone else have that on their list?
Nope.
No.
Wow.
I will say I played all the games on my. Okay. I played all the games on my list. But if we were talking about Grail games, that would be one. That one's been on my radar for ages.
For the same reason. At a yard sale, pick it up for you.
You got it. After you get your own first, and then.
Sure.
And scoop me up some of them old Spider-Man comics while you're there.
We need to do that. We need to do a Grail games list. We need a top 10 of those.
Good list. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. A lot of my list would be games that our guests come on and talk about that I've never played. I'll be like, oh yeah, I've got lists of games that are like I've got to try to find this and get a hold of this. So
those ones I can't find anymore. All right. Well, I actually kept this one. My number 5, I actually kept a little lower than how much I actually enjoy it because it gets talked about all the time, but it's for good reason. We're staying on the Star Wars IP, and that's because Star Wars Rebellion is one of the greatest games ever. So I'm going to throw it on this list no matter how many times we've talked about it. But Star Wars Rebellion is awesome. This, I think, is the best Star Wars game because it kind of feels like it, and that just you're actually playing kind of cat and mouse on this huge board and trying to avoid the Empire. It's a pretty epic experience.
Oh yeah.
And so it doesn't matter how this is the Star Wars game for me. But you got me wanting to play Queen's Gambit now.
But find it at a convention.
Yeah, exactly. But Tim's played this one way more than me. I I assumed he would have it on his honorable mentions because we've talked about this game so much, but
You are
it's
correct.
just that good. It's just that good.
I also was like, I didn't have to put it on my honorable mentions if you were going to, I thought you might talk about it. So I was like, stay away from the ones that I know Mike might talk about. I know it's going to get the love. I don't have to freak out because nobody said it. And then, but yeah, if you played this one, Matt?
I haven't.
So as a Star Wars fan, I would recommend. It gives you the real vibe, dude.
I'll definitely give it a try. I mean, I'm all about it.
Yeah. I mean, if you're the rebels, you pick a secret planet at the beginning of the game, and then the Empire spends the whole game trying to figure out which planet your base is at.
Is the Empire just controlled by AI?
No.
No, you
One
play
player.
two-player. Yeah, you're playing.
Can I play it? I want to be the Empire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
And like
Rebel scum.
destroying troops and trying to figure out which planet is theirs. It's super satisfying if you pull it off too.
Building a Death Star. I mean, yes.
Yeah.
You can build a Death Star.
Yes, you can.
It's got this really great kind of like the way your troops come in. You put your troops up here and then they spawn that many rounds later and you just kind of shift them down each round. So you just see these troops that you're piling up. Okay, this round I'm going to have these guys. Next round I'm going to have these guys. And you're using resources that you harvest off the planets to build the troops.
9 overall.
It's amazing.
So is it overall available then?
8.
No, I meant like above that, like for BGG. Rank overalls and
oh yeah, it's a highly ranked.
Wow, that's I mean that's crazy impressive.
Yeah, it's no joke. It is friggin' great.
It's an amazing game. That's why we end up talking about it a lot. Another one that doesn't. To stick on the IP, just might as well wear it out while we're here. The Star Wars deck building game hasn't gotten enough love yet. Even Mike,
sorry, you could be stepping on people's lists, dude. What are you doing?
So my number 5 was Star Wars Rebellion.
Good Lord, you're like a little yippy dog. Got to pull you back.
Tim's game at number 4 is the Star Wars deck building game.
That's why I write these lists in pencil.
Number 3 is the new expansion. Oh.
I've got 9 games written down, so I'm good. I got plenty of alternates.
I'm somewhere in there.
Plenty of alternates. Are we ready to go to number 4?
Yeah.
We are.
Is there another graphic for this?
Yeah.
Hope you signed up for
Dracula.
That's buddy.
IP Dracula.
Yeah.
Technically.
I got it.
It's true.
Right over there. That's a good one. Okay. So I'm gonna get my cannibalism off the list. Let's just clear the way. And I gotta be clear because you talk about games with the same IP getting made by 2 different companies at the same time. I am very specifically talking about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre board game from Trick or Treat Studios. So as a horror movie fan, I heard they were making a Texas Chainsaw board game. I'm like, sign me up. When I found out it was being done by Trick or Treat, I'm like, double sign me up. And then on top of that, it's designed by Scott Rogers. Super cool guy, very interesting. And we had him on. And yeah, he was fun to talk to. But this game is pure co-op, and it is like bag building, but kind of like I almost call it reverse bag building because there's all these spots on the board. You don't want to build the bag because building the bag is bad.
But I love building bags.
You have to draw tokens out of the bag, and you're like constantly putting horrible things you don't want to draw into the bag, right? And so like Leatherface starts moving, he starts chasing people around. There's a semi truck that can go, and I don't know if you've seen Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but you can get hit by that truck if you're out in the street when it goes by. You could jump out of windows. There's all kinds of fun stuff in this game, and yeah, it's really cool, really fun. I love that. I love weird IPs. I love themes that are uncomfortable. and gross. And this is definitely one of those. But yeah, their version of Texas Chainsaw. I cannot speak to the Prospero Hall version. I've not played. I will get around to playing it, but this one I played, and I didn't need another chainsaw game in my life. But I'm going to try the other one. But
You
yeah,
said it
super
wasn't
good.
gross though.
I don't think I haven't looked at closely enough at it, but it definitely doesn't have the hideous bag. That's
that
what
bag is. That's a lot.
Yeah, it's supposed to look like it's made of,
Yeah.
Baseballs, got it.
Spaceballs. Yeah, Bob's. But my copy's at Bob's house right now. I think he's holding it ransom.
I've been wanting to play this so bad.
Play it while it's at Bob's. You get over there more than I do anymore. Like, Bob, let's play Chainsaw.
Come on, Bob. Share the chainsaw.
Yeah, Bob. Get that chainsaw out and fire it up.
Good idea.
I'm going to go with a game that I've actually played.
Yeah, let's do it.
And Bob might appreciate this one, but it's the Bob Ross game.
Art Chill. Hell yeah.
So I played this at my friend Mandy's house like a few years ago or a couple of years ago, and it just was so funny because we're just like happy little trees, or like just saying all kinds of things Bob Ross used to say, which I thought was hilarious. But I mean, gameplay wise, it's it's kind of basic. There's nothing too.
Oh, come on, man! You bought a Bob Ross game. You get a Bob Ross game. Right.
Right.
Like, I would tell people to calm down.
So it was just like a fun thing to do, and everyone just liked it because it was Bob Ross. So I had to bring this one up. You're painting, you're drafting stuff to paint paintings and stuff like that. And I don't know. I had to bring in Bob Ross into the conversation.
Oh, yeah.
So I actually put this one. I put this one as an honorable mention because I picked this one up at a Goodwill everything was brand new. The cards were still in the wrap. And it's a decent game, like it's got a little set collecting, and you're like trying to paint certain features before Bob does as he's like going across that Bob track. I thought it was pretty fun actually, and I was surprised. I honestly didn't think that a Bob Ross game would be good, and it was. So that's a good pick.
Yeah. You're not getting any hate from me, man. Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, who can hate on Bob Ross?
Yeah, I don't need you in my life if you're that.
You a monster? What the heck?
Exactly.
He's just chilling, bro. I mean, come on.
He's just chilling.
He's just chilling.
And if I remember right, those are the chill cards. So you draw chill cards from the chill deck, and then that kind of determines like the special event for that round. But sometimes there's no event because, Bob's just chilling.
Yeah. I have heard, the only thing I will say is I have heard, like, I guess the family members of Bob Ross, they've, like, the legalities of ownership of stuff Bob Ross has been so watered down that, like, all these different people own the rights to things Bob Ross. So that's kind of, like, sad in that capacity, but...
Sure.
Yeah,
well, that's a good thing. Good thing Mike bought his at Goodwill, so the evil empire didn't.
That's exactly it. I felt a lot better about it. But yeah, his family, children, none of them get any of the assets from Bob Ross sales, merchandise,
which is a shame.
Yeah, that's too bad.
The television company that produced that show.
That was like Famous Amos. Remember those cookies?
Unfortunate. Yeah.
Guy owns like 0% of it. He can't even use his own name. He started a new cookie company, but he can't use his own name. I dropped my pen. It's gone forever.
That's a good one, though.
It's gone, yeah.
That is a good one.
Gone forever.
It probably hit Mike in the head, and now it's somewhere down on his floor. That's how physics work, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, that's pretty true. All right. So my number 4. So I actually finally got to play this for the first time at the end of last year. This is a movie that Tim's been hyping up for the longest time. I finally watched The Thing and loved it. And then I watched it like 3 times last year. The Thing is a great movie. And then I finally played The Thing, Outpost,
That game's so good.
Infection at Outpost 31. Man, what an
Excellent.
experience. What an experience. I love social deduction anyway. And like you just, you're just trying to figure out when you're going to start getting paranoid about who people are. And like right away, so I have to use names, I guess, so that Tim gets an idea. I'm playing with his brother-in-law, Patrick.
He's a monster. He is.
And he's the one teaching.
He's
And
the
so
bad guy.
he's quarterbacking the game. And I'm not saying that in a negative way. He's teaching well and letting everyone know their options, which I think a good teacher should do in this kind of game. So quarterbacking can have a negative connotation. Wanted to clear that up. So he's quarterbacking the game, and it ends up he's not infected, but gets everybody suspicious of our friend Karen. And rightfully so, she was infected from the very start. But what we didn't expect is Patrick getting infected in the last round, having quarterbacked the whole game as an uninfected person. And there's just like no way I could have seen it coming. But I still didn't care because the whole like experience of that game and like how things shifted from the way it started to where it ended and like the stories that developed, like those are like the kind of experience games that you talk about like years later that makes you love those kind of games.
So Mike, let me tell you this. You'll love this. I was playing this at Geekway with Patrick and some other friends. I was not infected. It's the very end. Everybody's supposed to get on the helicopter. Who's getting on? My friend Tyler, who I swore up and down the whole game was infected. Patrick is like lobbying for him to be the guy. And I'm like, well, you must be infected because Tyler's infected. And he's like, and Patrick's like, well, I think you're infected. It got so heated. He called me like a lying piece of shit. Like we're yelling at each other. We're all laughing. They get on the helicopter. They leave me behind and take the infected guy. And I'm like, that's it. This is me from the ground as you guys are all going up to end the world, you garbage. It was awesome. It was hilarious. We loved it. It was so much fun.
I totally forgot about this game, but I had such a good time when I did play with my friends. And I think I had a similar thing where I think I was infected, but you have to bring somebody that's not infected with you when you get on the helicopter, right?
Right. Well,
in order to survive the trip or something like that.
Well, the infected will be fine. It's just that like to win the game, you have to not have any infected on the helicopter. If even one infected gets on the helicopter, everybody loses except for the infected.
I remember playing it with my group. There was 5 of us, and halfway through the game, none of us trusted anything.
Yeah,
like, it was like that Spider-Man meme where all just pointing at each other.
Yeah,
but this was a great experience. I had a lot of blast. Awesome pick. I totally forgot about this. I wish I put it on my own list. It's a great one.
Yeah, having finally played this one recently, it was one of the first ones I thought of. But yeah, it's super fun. I can't wait to play this one again. Is the one that's based off the sequel any good? I haven't played that one either.
Dan's got it. I haven't played it. I don't know if Dan's messed with it. Where you're the Norwegian, at the Norwegian research station.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And apparently the show is really terrible. I didn't know they were making a show about it.
They made a show?
Well, Chris made a comment. Really terrible show. So
no, he's talking about us.
Well, screw you, Chris.
Yeah, that's what's up.
I'm here. This is a good show.
Yeah,
I was like, they made a thing show. Why? Okay, I didn't know it was like a Hulu spinoff or something going on like that. You know?
No, Chris is our resident troll. We gotta.
Oh, okay. Well,
he's our friend. It comes on.
You, Chris.
He comes on and tell us how bad we are.
It is epic. I can't wait to play this again. Like, if anybody wants to play a good social deduction game at Origins or Gen Con, like, please hit me up. I don't get to play them enough, and I love them so much.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, I think I made that same comment, and Patrick was the one that was like, "Well, let's play the thing then." It's like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm in. Let's do this. It was so awesome.
Our local curmudgeon. Yeah. See, there he goes. There he goes.
Chris is
He's
wrong.
he's in full effect.
I know. There's a lot of people that are like that too. That's why they're hard to get played. But man, I love to just I love bluffing to people. It's so fun.
I will always lie. So
Yes.
Nice. All right. I guess we're moving to Tim's 3.
Let's do it. I was dancing too.
Uh-oh.
Do a little happy dance.
So it's really funny. The show that my game is based on, my number 3, I didn't watch until last year, and I've only watched the first season. But when I watched the first season, I was like, holy shit, this show is amazing. Because the board game was amazing. Narcos. Have you guys played the Narcos board game?
No.
Oh man, there's like one person is Pablo Escobar, and then everybody else are like the different agencies trying to catch him. And I've got it right over there. It's beautiful. I love it. I need to get this back to the table. But yeah, so like Pablo Escobar's got to last X amount of rounds, and then he's trying to get to an airport. And there's different airports on the map, and so you're trying to anticipate where he's going. You got to raid his safe houses to sort of like keep his money down, you know what I mean, and like things like that, so he can't build up too much and stuff like that. Man, is it really good. I really like Narcos. It's 1v many hidden movement, but not like other 1v many hidden movement games that I played. It's very unique, and I think it was Bob and I played this against Patrick, who we've already talked about. So we should stop talking about him because he's not on the show.
Can't defend himself.
Right? He's a lawyer. He can defend himself. But yeah, he played as Pablo Escobar, and it really came down to, and I don't even remember if we won or not, but it was like Bob and I, it was like we either go here or we go there. And we knew he was at one of those. And I don't remember now how it shook out when we played it, which way he went. I'll have to look at my BGG stats and see who won.
I didn't know they made a game about this. I watched, I think, the first 2 seasons, and then I stopped. There's 3, right?
I think so. Yeah, I haven't watched the second season. I watched the first season like really fast, and then
the first season was amazing.
And then I took a break.
That's what, yeah. And then this show created one of my favorite memes ever. You know, the meme
dude, I used that meme today.
He's just like standing in the pool looking at nothing and sitting on the swinging chair looking sad. Like, it's one of the best all-time memes of all time. So
I used that meme in a chat today.
We have that.
And he used it. Tim, why did you use that meme?
Because you were talking to Andrew Styles and about Origins, and I'm not going to Origins, and so I shared that meme because I was sad that I have to work.
Can't go to Origins. That's the perfect meme.
So I'm gonna get my Matt beer at Gen Con. So we're gonna make it up there.
Gen Con. Can we get Michael to join us too?
Googs? He doesn't have a choice. He's got to go.
Well, yeah.
I've been telling him for like 2 years I'm gonna grab beer with him too. Actually, no. I think at Gamma we went to the Glass Die and we played what's the game called? Stuff of
Legend.
Yeah.
Stuff of Legend.
Which is another like social deduction style game.
Another good one.
Very cool.
That was with George, Ori, David, Michael, and James. And Ori tricked us all, that son of a gun.
Nice. I love it.
But I think we had a beer there together. So
listen, If Googs it dodges us, we will just show up at the Third World booth with beers and crack them there. I don't care. We'll do it on Sunday. So if they kick us out, we don't have to tear down, and then we're good.
I will.
So true.
I'll just abandon my booth. You'll abandon your booth, and we'll just head over there for a
Let's
beer.
go, bro. What we'll do is we'll put Bob in a trucker cap, and he'll pull his hair back into a ponytail. He's got a beard. He can go stand in your booth and sell your wares.
Thank you in advance, Bob.
Yeah, he's a trooper. I'll tell him that the girls are attracted to the fanny pack. He'll be over there. You won't be able to get rid of him. He'll just be going there to get your cast-offs.
There's 4 fanny packs now, 4 different colors.
Oh, dude.
Are you selling them?
So I'm running bundle deals with discounts if you buy 1 game versus 2 versus 3 versus 4, where once you get to 3, you get a fanny pack for free, and that's what we pack your games in, basically. It's like a bag.
Dude.
And then you get to choose which color you want and all that.
What are the color options?
So you can kind of see them in my video. I have yellow, red, and recently joining, we have green and blue.
All right. I'm getting a fanny pack.
Come on by.
Yeah,
I'm bringing them to Origins for the first time to see how it does, if people like it. If they do, I'll order more. We'll have more for.
Listen, Mike and Bob are bringing me back a fanny pack from Origins. They bring me one thing from Origins. It's a fanny pack. They have instructions.
So what do you want, the blue or the green one? Because when I said blue and green, you went.
Yeah, I love both colors. I assume they're both like neon-y-ish. Neon?
Yeah, the blue's more neon.
Blue then.
Wait, hold up then. Let's get a verification of color up there, right?
All right. I can grab the other 2 real quick if you want to see them.
Let's do it.
All right, Let's
do it. And while we're waiting, look at that beautiful Kalahari. Look at those mind your business back there.
So Tim, I just want to let you know that your fanny pack will be traveling back from Origins very safely in my blue fanny pack.
Yeah. You're going to get a blue one too?
Yeah. Wait, you're getting a blue one?
Yeah, I'm getting a blue one.
I figured you were getting a green one.
No, he said the blue's more neon. I want the more intense one. I want the loudest one. And I guarantee you, I will wear it at Gen Con. I'll be walking around Gen Con.
Blue's the color, though.
Yeah.
It's like the color of this thing. It's the color of my cup, Tim. You can't buy that one.
There's the blue.
Yeah.
Nice, right?
Oh, Bob says he wants a yellow one. All right, so
great.
So you go, Matt. You've sold 3. You sold 3 fanny packs already.
You literally
Bob, Mike, and I are all getting one. All right, Mike, you get a green. You get a blue one, Mike. I'll get the green one. Bob will get a yellow.
It's like the Infinity Gauntlet. You need to get all of them.
Yeah.
What happens if you wear them all at the same time? Does it like magnetize?
No one knows. It's never been done.
Wow.
You get to say, I am inevitable, and then snap your fingers.
What did it cost? Everything.
Everything.
Man, snap your fingers.
All right.
You can do it all by yourself.
So my number 3.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
This is one I played.
Narcos,
this is one that was mentioned in chat already. And then after this, I just went to basically movies I really like, but I haven't played them. But right now, we're going with, and I think everyone has got to love this game, but Battlestar Galactica.
Oh my God, it's so good. It's so good.
It is one of my favorites. And I saw somebody, I think Bob said he liked Unfathomable, but I did not like that version at all.
Oh, I do, but I do love me my Battlestar Galactica.
Battlestar Galactica. And I don't know. I'm too biased. I maybe I didn't give it a fair shake, but I had so much fun playing this with my group of friends. And of course I was a Cylon, and it was awesome turning somebody else into a Cylon. And then now my friend Mandy and I, whenever we see each other, we just say Cylons for life.
Yes.
And we were able to destroy the ship and kill everyone. So that felt great.
Oh, hell yeah.
Cylons were victorious.
That's awesome. I own this one. I don't have any of the expansions.
There's all 3 expansions in my living room right now. I don't own them, though. They aren't mine.
Oh, okay. You're just holding them hostage.
They're my. I have a roommate right now, so they're his. And I actually haven't played the expansions. I've only played the base, so I definitely want to get that to the table.
Hey man, if he's ever late on his half of the rent, though, dude, be like, look, sorry, it was in the lease.
Yeah, this is the only way. These are mine now.
And
These are mine.
I hate to admit that I still haven't played this one, but it's because it's been out of print since like the year
Yeah.
Tim was born. So
It's another Grail game.
it is. But I've played Dark Moon, loved it. I've played Unfathomable and loved it. And so I'm sure I'll love this one too.
Yeah, you would for sure.
Oh, I got Dark Moon right behind me.
I didn't really
Can't
watch the show or anything either. I just loved playing the game. Like, I just had so much fun with the game.
You know what's funny is I played the game before I watched the show as well. The show's great. Don't get me wrong, but I played the game first. I bought it. It was like a Barnes and Noble red sticker sale. It was like $20. And I'm like, oh, I heard that this was good. I'm just scoop it up. And then, you know, like 2 years later, I hear it's out of print and people are paying too much money for it and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. My regret, I had friends who sold a copy when they were moving, and I didn't buy it from them, and I wish I did.
Oh, barf. That's rough.
Yeah, it was a mistake on my part.
Jim, I don't need code for hipster picks. I'll just wear it, man. I'm a Gen Xer. I don't care.
You're a hipster?
I mean, I don't dress like a hipster because I don't want to look like an asshole, but I am sort of a hipster.
Okay.
That's that grumpy old man in me. Sorry.
Grumpy old man yells at the air today.
Yeah. I'm a walking onion article. That was like one of my favorite things about going to Chicago for Cubs games is we used to then drive around and look for the newspaper boxes with the onion in it because you could just get it for free in Chicago back 20 years ago. And so we'd just grab up a bunch of them and take them home and share them.
Nice.
Mike, do you know what the onion is?
I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
You don't know what the onion is,
funny.
Matt?
No.
Oh, what you just
Satire.
said was basically an onion article. Just
okay.
later in your spare time or when Mike's talking or I'm talking, look up
Oh, you
the
mean
onion.
like the website?
Yeah. It used to be a
okay. Yeah,
newspaper.
yeah.
Used to be a
I didn't know it
newspaper
was an
that
actual newspaper.
it was a newspaper printed in Chicago ages ago. I still got some because it's got like full articles, you know, and stuff like that. There's the Onion movie, which is pretty funny.
Okay, yeah, I didn't realize they actually had a actual printing.
I've got like books of like collected like articles, you know, like volumes, you know, 1 through 8. I got a bunch of them. The Onion's amazing.
That's cool.
Oh yeah, look up the Onion article about the Ninja Parade. That's a good one.
Did no one see it?
Exactly. All right, Mike, what's your number 3, sir?
All right, I gotta go with my hipster pick because a lot of people haven't played this one, and it's a really good game. And it is based off of a very popular show, and it's Sons of Anarchy, Men of Mayhem. Have you played this one, Mathue?
I have not played it, and I've only seen like a handful of the episodes of the show.
I've only seen season 1, but I did like what I saw, but I haven't played this either.
I didn't watch the whole show either. I liked it, but I didn't finish it. I honestly think this IP always hurt this game because it's about a violent motorcycle club. And I don't know if there's a lot of crossover with that and people that like playing board games, even 10 years ago when this came out.
You don't know my friend Pete.
I mean, hey, there's some of us. But what's cool about this is that it's actually a worker placement game, and you're like sending your dudes, and I think they actually call them dudes in this game. You're sending your dudes out to these locations, but you can't use them right away. It takes an action token that you're spending to do these moves. So you move as many guys as you want to a tile, but the other player could use his action token to move guys to that same spot. And so you would either have to move out of that territory or fight them because you can't use that location until you control it, meaning nobody else is there. So you have to fight or leave.
Like a small area control element as well.
Mm-hmm.
And this game really becomes like most money wins. And what you're doing is getting resources out of some of these tiles and then selling them on other tiles. And then collecting money behind a screen secretly. And but it's a whole lot of combat and like recruiting guys and upgrading them and fighting, and it's pretty good though. Like it kind of gives you a little bit of the Dwellings of Eldervale vibe, where you're like fighting over territories that you're also doing worker placement on.
That's a
Um,
favorite of mine.
it
I really like the
kinda,
motorcycle faction in Dwellings too. It's really cool.
yeah. There's also that.
Is that unlockable, like DC DLC?
But I mean, the problem is that you're like selling contraband, aka bags of drugs, and
Drags.
buying these like acrylic pistols, and using them to shoot other guys. But all they do is just go into the hospital. But you can always recruit more people because it's
So
so easy
immersive.
to it's so easy to recruit people to get into a violent motorcycle club. So, but this game's
You get a
actually
cool
good.
jacket, right? So like, why shouldn't I join?
That's
Yeah.
exactly why. I know. But yeah, it's still a 1200 after it's ranked 1200 after 10 years. I always thought it was fun. It's a little long. It's a 6-round game. I've played it enough to think it's better that as only a five round game. And it's sort of weird that it's only a 3 to 4 player game, and there's an expansion to make it 5. It should have just automatically been a 5-player game, and that 5th player expansion became hard to find for it. They tried to reprint it as Wise Guys, and there were reviews that said they changed too much about this game for it to be as good as the original. But
They
yes,
probably just, is it the same publishing company?
it's still. I don't think it was Gale for. It is still Gale Force
So
9.
they lost the IP basically, and then they're like, we
Mhm.
want to remake this.
Yeah.
That's the issue with working with IPs. I mean, I've never done it. I'm not big enough to do it yet, but I imagine there's a lot of complications and difficulties to it.
Well, listen, if this was like the 80s or the 90s, you could have had a Kalahari Saturday morning cartoon like all in the works. You know what I mean? Everybody be all in it.
What I want is the Kalahari Meerkat Manor.
Yeah.
Meerkat Manor IP on Kalahari.
That's what's up.
Be perfect.
It's
And we
still
could have
fairly.
Flower. That was the main meerkat they followed around. Wait, are we about to transition? Because I'm going to run and get ice.
We are.
Go for it. Go for it. Yeah, this one was I think if the retheme just didn't really work with the original IP at all, and yeah, the changes weren't any good. But yeah, it's still fun. I thought it was ahead of its time. So yeah, let's do it. Number 2.
All right. I'll so you know what's funny about my number 2? I've never watched this show, but I enjoy the hell out of this game.
Sim hasn't watched the show.
I know, it's crazy. Also, hey, I watched like a little bit of Acolyte. It's fine. Okay.
I'm so glad I wore pants because I wasn't gonna, and I keep getting up and moving, so everyone would have seen me without pants on.
Listen, Mike did it one time.
That happened once.
And he was in his
Would not be
boxers.
mad.
Well, I'm glad I wore them. I was like, I don't really want to wear. I was like, just throw in shorts. Good thing I did.
There we go. Yeah. I got some shorts on so I can air out these gams. They're pasty and nobody wants to see them. That's why they're down there. Anyway, so my number 2 is based on a show that I've never watched. I don't know if I'll ever watch the show, but this game's fun as hell. Spartacus, Blood and Sand. Like this game does a couple of different things because you there's like an auction round, you're building up stuff, you're getting, things, you're recruiting people and fighters. And then and then there's this whole arena phase. And that's even the new version. I've got the old version with the TV people on the front.
The art
the guy
that
I think the guy that died, because there was the guy who was Spartacus, I think in the first season, got like pancreatic cancer or something and passed away. And then they recast
it, and then it came back. It was like
really
sad. And then once they recast it, like I couldn't, because I watched the show.
Okay.
Once they recast it, I was like, I couldn't get into it again. And then they did all these spin-offs and stuff like that.
So it's funny you say this. It's Barry, right? It's funny you say that because I think that the arena combat is my least favorite part, but I do love betting on like wagering on who's going to win and things like that. We were playing this one night at a convention, and I don't know why, because I wasn't drinking or anything like that, but I was really worked up that night. And so I was running all the auctions like an auctioneer and like in character and like trying to sell slaves to people and stuff.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh, I was out of control. But it was super fun. And but this game's really good. I can't speak for the newer edition, but the edition I have is pretty good. It's pretty good. It's not a perfect game. It runs a little long, but it's pretty good.
I was just looking. It says 180 minutes.
Yeah,
that's
it's
a
long
one, and it's likely over that, especially if it's a new teach for someone.
Well, and then because what's happening is you're playing like two different games, right? So you've got like that first half of the game. Yeah, that's the one I've got, and you're building all this stuff up, and then everything halts and you do the arena combat, and then that takes a while, and then you go back, and I forget how many rounds the game is, but you do that a couple times. So it does take a minute.
Yeah, for once I was the one looking for the box, because I borrowed this from my uncle a while ago and still haven't given it back to him. I really want to play this one.
Oh, Spartacus?
Yeah, I've got
right
that
on.
one here somewhere. Not behind me though. But yeah, this one just sounds really fun. The whole concept of it.
But yeah, I mean, I like that kind of stuff. Like I said, I didn't watch Spartacus, but I did watch Rome. That was on HBO. And I really thought Rome was really good.
I'm Spartacus.
I'm Spartacus.
I'm Spartacus.
But yeah, this one just didn't.
That art sucks. Sorry.
Is this the new one?
That's the new one.
Yeah.
Right?
That's exactly. I know. Yeah.
It reminds me of that trending TikTok sound right now where he's like, "Ooh, brother, what is this? Ooh." It shows like the good thing and the bad thing and then the good thing.
Like, look at that. This is the expansion, man. Like, still in shrink.
Wow.
Because I played my buddy Pete's a lot. But yeah, this copy's a little beat up. It's well loved. But
yeah,
it's cool, man.
That new cover.
That old cover's garbage, dude. It's garbage. That new cover sucks. Yeah.
Yeah, that's bad.
This is actually what Mike looks like without a beard.
Well, that's pretty true.
I saw somebody on Facebook the other day posted that guy, which I don't know what his name is, versus the Mountain from Game of Thrones, like who would win or something. And 95% of the comments was that guy on that box you just showed.
Well, haven't seen the show, but my guess would my money'd be on the Mountain. But I'm
apparently
also
that guy's won like 500 battles in combat. I don't know, but yeah.
Sure, I believe him. Theocole, I don't know.
I mean, the painted minis look pretty nice. I'll say that. All right. Well, my next games, they're just movies I like. And they have games. So
let's go.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with one. And the publisher is actually a good friend of mine and a really cool person. Everything Epic Games, but Big Trouble in Little China.
Dude, I want to play this game so bad. I want this game. It's on my wish list. If you look at my BGG,
is it?
I want the deluxe edition. I want this game so bad.
He's got a deluxe edition with my name on it. I just got to go visit him down where he lives. So I'm very excited for that. But yeah, I love this movie. I haven't got to play the game, but
like Jack Burton always says, let's go. Pork Chop Express.
I've played some of his other games, and they're always they're always good. So I'm excited to give this one a try myself as well. And yeah, I mean,
Mike, have you seen this movie?
What? Mike, you are messing up.
Mike, have you seen you've played Mortal Kombat, right?
Yes.
The inspiration for Raiden is in this movie. Anybody else tells me otherwise, I'm gonna call them a liar to their face. This was the movie with Raiden in it. I remember when Mortal Kombat came out.
Yeah. There he is on the right side there.
It went way too zoomed in.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome, dude. It's awesome. Got Kim Cattrall in it. Oh yeah, it's really good.
I didn't realize it had miniatures and stuff too. I mean, look at that. It's pretty cool.
I know, that's what all the pictures are, is just the miniatures.
I'm so mad at you, Matt, that you're just like, oh, I'm friends with the publisher of this. I guess I'm gonna have to go pick up my deluxe copy. You jerk.
Well, I asked him about it not last time, but I asked him about it. I'm like, hey man, any chance you got like one of these floating around in your garage or something? He's like, I'll see what I can do for you.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't have the IP anymore, so you can't sell them and stuff like that. So it's just like, that's why a lot of these games turn into grails. Like the IP rights are gone, and it's like whatever was made, and outside of that, like.
Yeah, it's funny because you say that because right before IDW went tits up, at least on their game side, I got the Ninja Turtles Shadows of the Past game, like the deluxe edition, looks like a pizza box, like from the top, just because I haven't played it yet, but it's like I know I'm gonna play it one day, and I'm gonna be really mad when I can't get this game anymore. So I made a point, like I tracked one down. I bought it off of somebody off of Facebook. Like I drove an hour to get it. It's like,
realistically, we could probably start to invest in our future if we just buy games that come out with IPs, because we know eventually they'll be lost and they'll turn into grails. So.
No kidding.
I will say this: I bought, and this doesn't really fit at all. It's an IP, but it's a video game IP. And it's the only CMON game I ever bought because it's my favorite video game series. But I bought 2 copies of the Metal Gear Solid game that CMON's come out with. So I'm waiting for that.
I was going to say that's not out yet, but
no, it's not out yet. But I bought 2, one to open and play, and one to just keep on a shelf, basically.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that game. I really can't wait to see that game.
But yeah, that's a different top 5 video games too.
It is. But Big Trouble in Little China is awesome. I was at
Mike, you gotta watch the movie. It's so good.
I was at a horror movie convention in Cincinnati, I don't know, like 10 years ago, and they had the Pork Chop Express there. I was so excited.
Yeah. These miniatures look pretty good when painted too, because I'm looking on BGG as well.
Yep.
There's a bunch. I mean,
what's really funny is as a kid, because I'm old and I remember renting this on VHS, I thought Jack Burton was like one of the coolest heroes. And then as an adult going and watching that, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I mean, I still love him, but just for completely different reasons.
Yeah.
Like, oh, he's terrible at everything.
I should probably cosplay as him. I feel like I could pull up his cosplay.
You had the hair for a bit.
Well, yeah, I chopped it all off, but the thing about hair is, at least for me, it still has been doing this, but it grows back.
I was going to say, does it? Does it?
I hope it continues to do that, but for me so far, it has grown back.
Because right now, we're a version of that meme, the other meme that I love, where it's like, I'm doing my part. I'm doing my part. That's you and Mike. And then there's me. I ain't doing.
That
And
guy's
that's
so
my skill.
funny.
Dude,
That
I love
guy
that
is
show.
I didn't do shit.
I didn't do fucking shit. Yeah.
There's Raiden.
Yeah, there he is.
Yeah. It's so good, dude.
Nice. All right, I got a movie. I got another movie to watch.
Yep.
All right,
You'll love it.
It's not as good as The Thing, but it's good in different ways.
okay, so my pick is actually it's like an IP I've always been interested in. But there's a barrier to entry, especially if you try to get into it with the new movies. And of course, Tim already knows that I'm talking about Dune Imperium. I haven't read the book, and of course, I don't watch a ton of movies anyway. And so I'm like, oh, okay, they're redoing the book and making a new movie, and the first one was really hard for me to get into. But I love this game. This game's really good. So talk again about worker placement games that have combat mechanics. Is that like my reoccurring trend here? But this one also has deck building, and the cards tell you where you can put your workers, is the intriguing part about this one. So they just have different spaces that you can go to. You're kind of locked to only basic parts of the board until you can get cards that allow you to go to better worker placement spots. But then the cards you're only going to use, I forget how many workers you start with, whether it's 2 or 3, but you got a 5-card hand. The cards that you don't use for workers, you pass, and then you get the bottom actions out of them. So it's just got this unique deck building mechanic to it. And then, of course, at the end of almost every round, there's like a conflict or battle that happens. So there's constant interaction with other players, trying to pay attention to how many people they've put into this battle at the end of the round. It's just a really great game. It's from one of my favorite designers, which is Paul Denon. He did all the Clank games. So, of course, the deck building is really good. And, he also made a great worker placement game as well. I just love this game. But
Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, no, you're good. I've struggled to get into the movies, is all I was gonna say. I've struggled. I gotta try again because, of course, everybody says they're amazing. This
Yeah,
game's amazing too.
I played this like a month ago and really enjoyed it as well, and agree with everything you said. Like the deck building, and then you're using some of them for currency at the end versus battle. Like you can kind of focus on a lot of different things. So I played this. I really enjoyed it. I also won, so that helped.
Yeah.
It feels good to win this game.
As the same as you, I remember seeing these movies when I was a kid at my grandparents' house and just being like, oh, these are so boring. Because I was into Star Wars and stuff like that at the time. And I know this came out before Star Wars and all that, but apparently the new movies are really good. I haven't given them a shot yet, but I'll probably watch them eventually too. But totally agree. Great pick. You're coming out with some fire picks, man.
Hey. It's hard to not pick this one. It's the crazy thing is I haven't even played any of the expansions for this one. I've got both of them, Rise of X and the other one I always forget the name of, but both are both reviewed as well. So like I know they add even more good depth to this game.
The thing about the Dune games is I'm still genuinely confused about this, but I feel like I've seen like 8 different Dune games, and I'm like, what is going on here? Why are there so many different Dune games? Which is which? And like, I still like legitimately, like, I don't understand it. But I did play this one, the only one I've played, and I did really enjoy it. So.
The IP was under a stranglehold for ages and ages. So they did that Dune game in '78, which was just based on the books before the David Lynch movie, which was like 1984. But then they didn't have the rights, and the Herbert family wasn't giving up the rights to anybody. So then Fantasy Flight made a game called Rex, which played like Dune. But it was in the Twilight Imperium universe, but it essentially kind of does the same stuff. And then a couple years ago when the Dune IP opened up and then everybody could kind of get their grubby little paws on it. Yeah, you got 37 different Dune games now. It's kind of like Cthulhu. No, well, not as bad as Cthulhu, but kind of like Lord of the Rings, right? Everybody's trying to get a piece of that Lord of the Rings pie, and stuff. So,
but then also there's even the Dune Imperium Uprising that I hear is great as well that I haven't played yet.
I want to play that one.
Yeah, I know. It has to be good. It's another Paul Dennen game. He doesn't make bad games. Like, all the Clanks are awesome. Dune's amazing.
Have you had him on your show?
We don't know
No.
him.
Okay.
I
I'd
wish.
be interested to see how involved he is with like development and even like the publishing process as a designer. Because a lot of times when games get developed and like published, stuff just has to change kind of. So I'd be interested to see.
Yeah, I would like to know if it was always a Dune game or did he pitch a game and they're like, hey, we really like this game. It's going to be Dune. And you're like, okay. Yeah. I mean, I think that those are always really interesting questions. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Still less Dune than Firefly. Yet there is more Dune. Well, I guess there's technically more hours of Firefly than there are Dune on film. But maybe not if you count the Sci-Fi Channel ones too. Because those Dune movies are a good 3 hours a piece. So that's 6. And then the Lynch movies, 2 hours. That's 8. How many episodes of Firefly were there? 12? Okay, we're not going to hit 12, I don't think.
Yeah, so. And nothing happens for like the first 45 minutes of that movie either. So, I mean.
I really enjoyed the Dune movies. They were good.
I know.
I even like the weird ass David Lynch one. Mike, you should watch the weird ass David Lynch one. You might like that one because I
like the weird ones.
Dude, David Lynch, people are like, he's a genius. I don't know. All of his stuff is just really weird to me. I can't get into it ever. I have friends that love him, so I get it. But I'm like, most hated movie I've ever watched is called Lost Highway.
Oh, I know Lost Highway.
And I just remember watching it. I'm like, and I've watched it like twice. And I'm like, what the F is going on?
Yeah.
Like, I can't follow anything. And I'm like into movies, Like, I was like, what the F is this?
I think David Lynch is like, hey, man, you like movies. Oh, you like Bill Pullman. You like some of these actors. Well, guess what? We ain't giving you nothing. You're not going to figure this. You're not going to know. Why is Robert Blake here? And why are his eyebrows shaved off? And he's holding a camcorder. I don't know. Sounds good. That Mulholland Drive. There's some weird ones. Blue Velvet. Yeah. You should watch Blue Velvet. You want to watch a good David Lynch movie? Blue Velvet.
I'll look it up.
That one will mess you.
I love that the show that he made.
Oh, Twin Peaks.
Twin Peaks. They were obsessed with that. Usually they'll be like, watch this and I'll love it. And that was the one show that they're like, because they're big David Lynch fans, and I watched it and I was like, I think I got to like the 4th or 5th episode. I'm like, I can't do it. I can't consume any more of this.
I watched it as a kid with my mom, like back when TV was appointment viewing, right? So God, whatever that was, very early 90s. But anyways, Blue Velvet is it actually has a narrative.
Okay.
So you know what I mean? There's not the trippy jumping around stuff. I'd watch Blue Velvet and just see what you think of Blue Velvet.
I'll give it a watch.
I wouldn't like, I enjoy Lost Highway for the weirdness, and the same thing with Mulholland Drive, because I sit there and I just try to figure it out, and I never can and I never will. But it's like a personal challenge where it's like, I want to understand this.
That's why I watched it a second time. I'm like, maybe there's something I missed. I'm like, no, you didn't miss anything.
No.
I'm like, it's just nonsense.
It's not there. It's not there for you to miss. So yeah, it's a exercise in futility.
All right, Tim, you ready for number 1?
Oh, it's number 1. Yeah, let's go.
Oh, you got to figure out what it is first, don't you?
No, I
All
know.
right, I'll
I
give you
got
5
it.
seconds.
Nope,
Oh,
I
just
got
kidding.
it. I got it. All right. All right. My number one with a bullet is it had to be because I love this film franchise. I love every movie in this series. I haven't seen the newest one that's in theaters now. While there is not officially a Mad Max board game, there is Thunder Road Vendetta, baby. And that game is pure chaos, pure madness. And if Mad Max was a board game, it would be Thunder Road. You could also throw in a little Death Race 2000 if you want your 70s Roger Corman, David Carradine, early Sly Stallone. Or you could watch the remake with Jason Statham. Not as good. But I'm clinging to my Mad Max. And as an honorable mention, if this isn't Mad Max enough for you, then you need to play Defenders of the Last Stand. It's a sort of post-apocalyptic retheme of Defenders of the Realm by Richard Lanius. But either one of those games is awesome. I remember going to see Beyond Thunderdome. I think I saw it in theaters because I'm old, but I was little. But yeah, rented Mad Max 2, which was just called The Road Warrior. And then, yeah, Beyond Thunderdome, We Don't Need Another Hero. You got Tina Turner. You got Master Blaster. It's so good. And then there's like a weird part at the end where you're like, I don't need this. But then let's get back to Thunderdome. Let's go. But then Fury Road, I remember going to see in the theater and it blew my friggin' mind. And I just rewatched it again like last month. And that movie just still is a 100% banger. Mike, have you seen Mad Max Fury Road? If you thought, listen, you thought nothing happens in Dune, my wife watched the first 20 minutes of Mad Max and had to stop because she's like, does this ever stop? And I'm like, no, it doesn't. She's like, I don't think I could take this. It's too intense for me. Mad Max Fury Road is like nonstop. It's so good.
My introductions to Mad Max was The Road Warrior.
Yeah.
I would argue is by far my favorite.
Lord Humongous.
And then I saw Beyond the Thunderdome. And then I was like, well, I want to watch the first one. And this was like years later. And I watched the first one and I just was so disappointed.
Yeah.
It's such a big change from that to The Road Warrior.
It is. It really is.
And obviously Beyond the Thunderdome is pretty close together. And then the newer ones are, I mean, they're pretty different as well, obviously, but they're still very entertaining. And then, yeah, this game, everyone calls it the Mad Max game. So, like, I haven't played it. I remember people going nuts over trying to get copies of it because it was, like, limited. But I think they have done reprints and all kinds of stuff now. But
they had another Kickstarter.
Yeah, this is on my list to play for sure. But I actually have my dog Quinn, who you keep hearing barking every now and then and growling and stuff, is a blue healer. And I always wanted a blue healer because of the Road Warrior.
Warrior. That's a dog. Yeah. Again, epic VHS cover, The Road Warrior. It's just Mel Gibson and the dog, and he's got like that crossbow. Yeah.
And with his metal knee, basically.
Yeah. Hell yeah. So good, dude.
Like
half shoulder pad.
Jacket. I've always wanted to like cosplay that, but I'm like, I have no talent to create cosplay, but I figured that because I have Quinn, the red heel or the blue healer, like it would have been so perfect. You
got the dog, you're half there. You can grow the beard, like because you just need enough of a beard, right? Some scruff there. Yeah. And I say this as a movie purist. I would say that I would not introduce people to Mad Max watching the original. I'd say the original you go back and watch because you want to know. But you start at Road Warrior, you go to Thunderdome, and then you go to Fury Road.
If I started on the original, I'd probably be like, yeah, I'm good. I don't need to see the sequels.
Right.
Did you? Maybe I missed it. You said you did play this though.
Oh, I played the shit out of this game. I love it.
Amazing or what?
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Is it amazing? Or?
Yeah. I mean, you can't be the kind of person that like likes to plan out their turn and have everything go the way that they expect it to go.
There's a level of chaos.
It is
yeah.
100% chaos. You're ramming vehicles. You're, stuff's flying all over the place. You're hitting random obstacles, and there's ramps.
Oh, so there's multiple maps.
Oh, dude. So here's the thing with this game is you lay out 3 tiles, right? Those are the tiles that he's showing right there. And that makes up the first part of your roadway. And then when somebody gets past the 3rd tile, you drop off the first tile and you add a new tile to the end of the map. And anybody that's still on that first tile, gone. Just like, Quinn said it, gone. And you're supposed to get up to 5 tiles. I've never seen it go to 5 tiles. Usually somebody wins by that 4th tile because just too many people are dying and wrecking. And you get 3 vehicles, which is even better. So you've got 3 cars and they're all kind of in a row. You know what I mean? Like you can use them as you want.
Those helicopters, what's that about?
Oh, you call in chopper strikes and you're trying to shoot people's cars with your helicopters. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Asymmetric powers. They've got modules. You can add stuff. You can play as a gang of motorcycles. So you've got 5 motorcycles instead of the 3 cars. You can play as like a big rig. So your 3 cars are basically like 3 segments of your big rig, but there's like guns on the back, so you could shoot people behind you, all kinds of crazy stuff.
I'll have to check it out. It looks great. And, I've just heard good things about it. So this is one I'll have to check out.
Yeah, I love this game. Again, I really want to see the Furiosa movie. I haven't seen it yet. So I really want to see that.
The Queen's Gambit.
Yeah.
Actress is in it, right?
Yeah.
She was in Peaky Blinders too for a little bit, right?
I think she was, and then she's
done some pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, she's a good actress. She's a really good actress. But yeah, so I want to see that.
Yeah, you have to go into this game just not really worried about the result and just embracing the chaos and having fun.
Is this going to end friendships, or is it too random where you're not really picking?
No.
Okay.
Because you being mean can backfire on you because everything's like almost totally random. Run into a hazard, that flips over. That could be one of 6 different hazards. If you ram into somebody, you're rolling dice to see who gets bounced in what direction. Like there's so many aspects of the game you just don't have control over. So if you're trying to play this game and strategize like this just isn't that kind of game. You just go in and have fun and just see what happens.
So if you lose a friendship over this, then they weren't really friends.
No.
They're too sensitive.
It's just too random to be like a mean game.
It's like even if I wanted to be mean to you, I really couldn't because of the randomness.
I mean, you could try.
Not always.
You could try
to be mean.
Yeah. Get some lucky dice rolls. You could be a little mean.
Listen, I was super mean to Bob when we played this, so we're still friends.
But
he was the motorcycles, and I was like, "You got 5 of them," and I freaked out. Just kept trying to take them out, and then the next thing we knew, he was down to like two bikes, and it's like, and only like 2 of those kills were my fault. So
you killed almost half.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, on one turn, you could be ramming somebody into a mountain and they blow up. Yeah. But then on the next turn, you could accidentally hit a ramp and then run into a helicopter and blow up. So it's like, it happens in this game constantly.
Yeah, it's super good.
It's fun.
Yeah, I'll have to check this one out.
As long as you know what you're walking into, and that's... it's sort of like Tricarion. You're not just gonna spring it on somebody that's not ready for it. You're like, oh hey, you like what is it? What is it? I can't even think of the name of the game with Everdell. Oh, you like Everdell? Let's play Tricarion. No, you're not gonna do that, right?
Gotcha.
You're not gonna like somebody that really only likes Euros, you're not gonna throw them into Thunder Road. You're just not gonna do it.
Makes sense.
Also true.
All right. My final top 5. And mine were just in no order at all. And some of them were just movies I like, really.
Hell yeah.
I haven't played most of them, but and I don't really know anything about this game, honestly.
Ooh.
It just is a movie that I really like. I can't imagine it's too hard, but The Goonies, Never Say Die.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
The game itself, it's Funko Games, right?
Mhm.
There's some miniatures and stuff like that. I remember seeing ads when it was getting ready to come out, and I was like, oh, I want to get that. And then I never did, but I just love the movie. And there's so much fun around the movie that I was like, I like that this was made into a game. Gameplay, I don't know if it's fun or good, so I apologize if it isn't. But I mean, I will never say no to watching The Goonies.
Exactly.
Like, I would never say no. I'd be like, yes, I'm going to watch that. And I love all the, like, so in The Goonies, there's a scene where there's an octopus.
Well, that's the TV
right?
version. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. But then they cut that out. But then it's still at the end of the movie, in the version where they cut it out, they still mention it. And you're like, what is this? What are they talking about? And you're like, I'm so lost. So I just love that they like kind of made that mistake in it too. You know,
There's
like,
a giant octopus. Yeah. So they cut that scene. And then when they were showing it on TV and they had to cut out some of the cuss words and stuff, they put that scene back in. So if you watched it on TV, when they aired it, like on network TV, you'd see the octopus scene, but if you saw it in the theater, you never saw the octopus scene.
Right. Yeah. And that was, I never saw the octopus scene for a while, and then I eventually did, but I was always confused by that. But
yeah.
I mean,
Because I think it was Data says something about a giant octopus, or somebody says it at the end. Yeah.
Have you guys played this at all, or does anyone in chat maybe?
I have not. We talked to the some of the guys that worked on it from Prospero Hall, and they say it's the best. You know, they say it's great, but I haven't played it. I would definitely play it.
Hall was bought out, and it basically doesn't exist anymore, right?
Correct. It's kind of
let everyone go, which was really shitty.
Yeah, they kept a few people on. They got like but it's not what it was for sure.
Yeah, which is a shame. But
agreed.
They definitely got to work on some really cool IPs and stuff like that.
Man, yeah, they did.
So I want to play this. It might not be great or anything, but I want to play it because I love the movie. So
Matt, when's the last time you watched Goonies? Do you know? Like recently-ish?
Probably a year.
Yeah, I don't need like a date. Just like you've watched it recently. So this popped up in local theaters here, like, I don't know, a year or two ago. And I love going to see movies in the theater. It was like a big thing for me as a kid.
Oh, yeah.
So like when I can take my kids to go see movies, and I asked my wife, because my wife has a much better sense on like what's appropriate for like children to see than I do, because I was watching, Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street and stuff when I was like 6, because my older sister watched me.
At 6.
Yeah. But my older sister was babysitting me and she hated it, and she's 9 years older than me, so I had to watch what she was watching, and she's like, I'm not, like, you're just gonna have to deal with it. So I got acclimated to all that very quickly. So my scanner of right and wrong is like completely broken. My wife's like, oh, I like Goonies. Like, let's go. We'll take the kids to see Goonies. And there were so many parts where I am laughing my ass off in Goonies that are not appropriate for like a 10-year-old and a 6-year-old. Like, for example, one of my favorite scenes in the movie is at the beginning when Chunk knocks down the statue that like Michelangelo statue, and they break the dick off and they glue it on upside down. Oh, he's gonna have 2 hands to take a piss. You broke my mom's favorite part. Oh my God. We're watching that, and I'm just like, I just see my wife like this, like with her, and I'm just looking at her laughing, and my kids still have no idea what's happening.
When you were kind of saying, I was like, I feel like Goonies is like, it'd be like, if I was a teenager, I'd feel really cool watching it,
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, I'm hip, I'm cool. I watched the Goonies, because there's some edginess to it,
There is, and also the '80s. What was appropriate for kids in the '80s is way different.
Than now, completely.
Yeah.
Different.
So there was some jokes like that and stuff. And I just was like, hey, it's cool. But anyways, sorry to go on that Goonies tangent. I also love the
No, you're
Goonies.
good.
I'm here for it. Thanos is in it. What do you want?
Yep. It sure is. It was one of his earlier movies too, right?
It was.
I think I watched the movie. His first movie ever was something called Thrasher, I think, where he was
That sounds right. Skateboarder, or was it BMX?
It was like downhill skateboarding or something. Like it was so corny and bad.
It's so 80s.
Like,
It's so 80s.
It was perfect. It was
Yeah.
perfect. So mine was the Goonies. I need to play it. Sorry.
Let's go.
Half of my list just turned into things that I like to watch on.
Most of the time, my list is just things I want to talk about. What do I feel like talking about? How can I bend that to make it fit the list?
Perfect.
Yeah. All right, Mike.
And the final, last number one.
Mike, you've seen Goonies, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
Yes. I'm not that bad.
Awesome,
Holy cow.
Bob. That is awesome, Bob, that he did that.
Yeah, Josh Brolin.
They just wore sweats basically and have his like little exercise.
Yeah, he's got to have the exercise thing, right? And then like the cut off sweatshirt, right? Trevor knows what's up.
Oh, all right. My number one. Tim's gonna hate this pick, so it's gonna be that much more fun. Yeah. It's a really old book, and then they made a whole bunch of different movies out of it. You know, you can pick which one you like. They're all
I know
weird.
which one.
Yep. But I love this game, and I've been craving a game. Somebody indulge me. I would love to play some Wonderland's War at Origins. I've always loved this IP because when I was a kid, you know, as a kid of the 80s, did you have one of those VHS tapes that was a recording of like 4 other movies on it? Well, he won't even talk to me. I start talking about a movie and Tim leaves. That's amazing.
I'm still here.
I watched when I was a kid, I watched that freaking Disney version of Alice in Wonderland. I don't know how many times, and I just loved how weird it was, you know. And so I've watched a lot of the newer ones and liked them. And the IP brought me to this game, but I also just love bag building, and it's like an area control game with bag building, where you're pulling chips out of your bag to determine your strength in an area. And it's just a lot of fun. It's a bit long though, because you really should play it at 3 or 4 players. But even then, it's going to take 2.
You can play it more than that, right?
Yeah, it goes to 5. The problem is at 5, it's going to be like a 3-hour game, and I think it's just too long.
Yeah, my normal game group, they're playing at 5, and they didn't even get to finish it because the place we play at, like, it closes at 10. So.
Yeah,
and they might have just taken their time, but
it's long. That's my only real complaint on it. But I love the art style. I really like Manny Tremblay's art. And the color palette for this game just really pops on every figure. I really love the way he interpreted all of these characters in this world that I've just always been a fan of since I was a kid. And just combining bag building and area control in this whimsical world, regardless how long this game is, it just works for me so well. I love this game.
This game was so long that my hair grew back and then fell out again.
Well, is Alice in Wonderland, was that an IP that became like public domain or whatever it is? Because there has been so many games with that IP. So
yeah,
whenever that happens, I feel like a fatigue sets in eventually for it. At least for me, I'm like, okay, I don't need to see another one of these. But
100%, I agree.
Yeah. But I did play this once. I think it was with 3. It might have been with 4. And I don't know. I think we might have done something wrong where we were playing, but it just didn't hit home for me. But I know people love it. They just did a second Kickstarter for it, didn't they?
Yep.
Yeah.
So obviously there's people out there that love it and appreciate it. People were playing it at my game group. We go to a cider place on Wednesdays. And and they couldn't finish it because it took so long. There was 5 of them.
long.
But
It's too long at 5. Yeah.
anyone that likes a game, enjoy your thing. For me, it just didn't hit home personally, but I like when people like things. Good for them.
Yeah, I'd like to give Mike a hard time, but honestly, like listen, if we were gonna sit down and play and it was like just 3 of us, I'd play and I would be, I'd do my best and we'd have a good time. I'm not gonna sit there and ruin anybody else's experience. I'm not gonna walk by unless it's Mike and Bob, like to rando people and be like, "This game sucks. What are you doing?" Like, I'll never do that. I might do that to Mike and Bob, but just because to mess with them. But I wouldn't do it if they were with other people.
Have that relationship. So.
Yeah. I'm not doing that with other. If they were sitting with other people, I would
do that to me too if we ever get to game.
Well, I know you, so I would.
I'll just talk shit back.
Exactly. I'm heckling, but not strangers.
Every game needs a good heckler.
Yeah, right. I'm like that guy in Happy Gilmore. You suck.
Hey, you want to go to?
You want to go to the Sizzler? Was it Sizzler?
You want to go to Sizzler? So good.
Jackass.
You suck, you jackass. Yeah, love that.
I don't know. I think we had some great game, movie to TV implementations. Bob said Mike's list was the best. So
only because of Star Wars Rebellion. Mike had the best pick with Star Wars Rebellion. And Star Wars Rebellion, if I was like in my top 50 out of the games I talked about, Star Wars Rebellion is the highest rated game of all for me personally, in my own personal ratings, out of all the ones. But I had a feeling it was going to get talked about. And if it didn't get talked about, it just would have became my number 1. But just
I got to play it now.
But I do have a couple of honorable mentions real fast.
Let's hear them.
Have you played the Eric Lang Godfather game?
I haven't played it, but I did meet him at BGG Spring recently and hung out with him a few times throughout it, grabbed lunch and stuff. He's very funny.
He's so funny. He is so funny.
He really is.
Yeah, I got to hang out with him and interview him at Origins last year, and he is just freaking delightful. He was really fun.
I would say that too. I agree.
But
I have not played this.
Yeah, his Godfather game, really good. Really good.
It is good.
I
just wanted to say real quick, another worker placement game with combat.
Yeah, whenever you talk about your Sons of Anarchy, I think about this is where my brain goes to Godfather.
Was the first movie, second movie, or the third movie?
Oh, right. It's definitely the first movie because it's all New York. There's no Vegas.
I'll play the Empire. I want to play the Empire.
Yeah. Then I have to say, for fans of Tremors, the movie Tremors, you must play The Terror Below. That game is super fun, very cheeky.
I was like, there's a Tremors game? What?
There is. This
so
is
it's not the exact IP, but it is.
We don't have the IP, so we made a game about sandworms that follow vibrations and people walking and they pop up out of the ground.
That sounds a lot like Tremors. Weird.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, but it's totally not Tremors, but it's Tremors. So Tremors is Tremors. Terror Below, awesome, love it.
How long is this new or is this an older?
No,
game
it's an older game. It's probably 5 years old.
Okay.
Yeah,
I've not heard of it. I'll have to check it out.
2018. God, it's even older. But yeah, Terror Below, really fun, really fun. Then I want to mention the Networks, which is just basically you're running a TV network and all of the cards in that game, because you're slotting programming. So you've got different shows and they do better in different time slots. But all the shows are, since they don't have the rights to actual TV shows, they're all like TV show adjacent and like caricature art of the shows. So
like satire.
Yeah, so it's not like Friends, but it's like Buddies. Like we want to watch Buddies,
I love Buddies.
Yeah, and it's not like Beverly Hills 90210, but something else. Like it's all that like Golden Girls.
It is.
But but it's really kind of a fun game because you're keeping shows in syndicate, or you're keeping shows on as long as you can, and then you're going to put them into reruns, and then they're going to score you different kinds of points, and they score different points based on their time
money
slots
in reruns.
Yeah, man, for sure. Just ask anybody that was on The Office.
For sure.
So the Networks is really good. I haven't played the original version, but there's a Reiner Knizia game, Nightmare Productions, where you are a horror movie studio and you're trying to make horror movies. I believe it's Hollywood 1945, or is it just
Blockbuster?
Hollywood Blockbuster is the
There you
original.
go.
I was thinking of a different game from Facade Games. It's Hollywood 1957. But Hollywood Blockbuster, I did get a copy of it in a trade, but I haven't played it yet. But yeah, so you're making movies. So you're drafting, you're getting scripts, and you're assigning actors to them, and then they're gonna have like. But in the horror version, you've got like your main monster, and then a plot and a setting, and so you're putting it all together on like a film strip, and then you're gonna score your film strip, and so they're gonna be worth so many points. And then at the end of the game, you're going to have like the Razzie for who made the worst movie. So it's got the least amount of stars. And then you're going to get awards for making the best movies. Really cool movie adjacent. And then
I liked it because it was an auction game. You gotta outbid people for the monsters and the plots that you want. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's fun. I want to play the old and busted version. The Hollywood Blockbuster.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of pictures of
Just
the new
saw
version.
Ad on BGG for a Zorro game, so there's another.
Oh, dude!
It was on the last page, but yeah, there you go. There's another FP.
And then the last one I'll mention is also from Trick or Treat Studios. I wasn't going to be like a total shill for them, even though I do love them. But probably my favorite game from Trick or Treat Studios is the Halloween game designed by Emerson Matsuuchi. Where one player is Michael Myers and they're hidden, and everybody else are the babysitters, and you're trying to find the kids in the different houses before Michael Myers finds you and kills you. It's so good. Really played this game a bunch of times, and I have yet to get to be Michael. Can't wait. But I will say that we had some like, oh shit moments in this game where, and anytime you're playing a game and people are like, emotionally involved, you get like genuine reactions out of people, that's a good sign. And we had a lot of that with this game. So I really enjoy it and stand by it.
That's fun.
But yeah,
I'll have to try that. I'll play it. I'll let you be Michael. I'll be one of the other
sweet
films.
Sweet.
Can I do an honorable mention?
Hell yeah, you can.
And I've only thought of this now since we've been naming them, but and this was with the previous publishing company that shall not be named, but and it wasn't a direct, like of the movie or anything, but I worked on a game called SOS Titanic, which was a Bruno Cathala game that we did a reprint because the original one used to be a Grail game, and the new one is basically a Grail game now because it's basically the company it was with went under, and
like the Titanic. Hey yo,
yeah, exactly. But it came out great. I was really happy with the art and the look of it and the feel, and people were super excited about it when we were doing the reprint, which was really cool. But
did you work on the development side, or what did?
We really didn't change much of the game. It was just like, we're gonna put some new art on this basically and recreate the manual and all that. And there's people that I see them post videos and stuff like about it every now and then, which is funny. And I'm like, I worked on that,
Yeah,
but
that's very cool.
In the game, the artist put me into. I didn't ask or anything, but I'm one of like the characters in the new game.
Nice.
Yeah.
They're like, who's that hot dude in the fanny pack?
Yeah, I'm not wearing a fanny pack in it.
Oh,
dang.
In the image, but yeah.
Are you wearing a life preserver around your waist instead? That could have been.
No, I look very regal. I'm very gentleman-like. I think I have like a suit on and stuff.
Oh, so they didn't know you.
Or maybe you were just soaking wet and wearing a hat and full clothed.
Like you just got out of the shower.
Well, when your girlfriend that doesn't exist that won't play board games with you,
man, how bad is it that your fantasy girlfriend doesn't even play board games with you?
I had so many people like, congrats on your girlfriend. I'm like, made me feel worse. I'm like, well, I don't actually have
Well,
it.
that
It was just to make the
that's
TikTok better.
that's the joke.
Yeah.
I heard you
Like,
stole
now
Mike's
I feel bad.
non-existent girlfriend.
Don't shame my non-existent girlfriend.
I've been dating somebody. We'll see where it goes, but
Hey.
don't know if she's much of a board gamer, so we'll see.
Listen, they gotta check enough boxes. It doesn't have to be all the boxes.
Yeah.
Awesome. Mike, you got any audible mentions?
I'll throw a couple out. So
Yeah.
I didn't actually play any Jurassic Park games, but I've played Dinosaur World, which feels the most like Jurassic Park. And that's the one, of course, Dinosaur Island was first. But I felt like Dinosaur World captured more of what felt like running a park. Because it's like a tile placement game, so you're actually building out your park with these tiles and putting different kind of concessions or attractions in your park. And then once the round is over, you do these Jeep tours through your park. And that's how you're like collecting excitement and everything, which is your points. I thought that was a really good interpretation of Jurassic Park, is Dinosaur World.
JP, such a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of course.
The soundtrack, everything, amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's been. So you've played several different dinosaur games, or is this just the one you played and you're like, yeah, they did a good job with it? Because there's been, I feel like a lot of like, this is in Jurassic Park, and you're like, I feel like it is.
Yeah, as far as the like Jurassic Park adjacent games, I've played this. I've played Dinosaur Island. There's a Dinosaur Island Roar and Right or Roll and Right. And it's actually a pretty good roll and write game too. It doesn't feel like a park, but you are building attractions on your, drawing them out on your pad. Um, and I've picked up Dulosaur Island, which is a two-player version of Dinosaur Island as well. I haven't played that yet, but this is the one that I thought was the best of all of them and the most thematic.
Yeah, this was on Kickstarter, right? I think I remember seeing it on there.
Yeah,
People
Pandasaurus.
did really well on there. Yeah, Pandasaurus.
Yeah, the components are great. It has some of my favorite dice in any game ever. That's actually both of the Dinosaur Island and World games. If I can get a picture of just those, it's made out of this stuff, so it's made to look like that, and so the dice look like that.
The amber that the mosquitoes are preserved
Amber,
in or
thank
whatever.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, I can't find any pictures. The dice.
There's the Zorro ad again.
Yeah, let's play Zorro.
Nice. What else did I have? I had how about Horrified, based on all the old Universal monsters? I think that's a great game, another Prospero Hall game, but I played that game a lot when I first picked that up. Really enjoy it.
Samesies.
I like obviously the monsters and all that they put in it, and now there's like 2 other games in the series, which I think are great. The game for me didn't really hit home personally. I found it a little boring, but
sure,
maybe that was just me. And I feel like maybe it was meant for more of like, hey, come into this hobby and play this game, for like more gamers.
But it is lighter fare for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think I think they did a good job, because their latest one's like Greek mythology, right?
Right.
Monsters, which is really cool. And yeah, so I'm not hating or anything for me. Gameplay wise, it just didn't hit home, but yeah, I think it's awesome. It's a staple. It's like I'd argue it's probably like an evergreen at this point,
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a very safe game to have in your collection to, especially if you're going to kind of bridge that gap, right? Familiar IP, and then, pretty easy mechanics to learn and implement. So
I think what gives this game legs for me is all of the different monsters and their mini games, and mix and matching them and increasing the difficulty by adding more. So yeah, I've enjoyed this one. I haven't tried any of the newer versions or anything. Let's see, my last IP. Man, Tim, you got mad at me for not mentioning the Star Wars deck building game.
I left it off.
That's a great game.
It is
And they're
really
doing a
good.
Clone Wars expansion now too, which is pretty exciting. I
I'm
can't wait to
freaking
see that
buying
one.
it. I don't
Wait, is
even
that
like
that's a new thing, right?
hmm
Didn't they come out with a new Star Wars deck builder recently?
Well,
Yeah.
there's deck builder and then there's the deck construction. So there's Star Wars Unlimited, which is the LCG, and then you've got like the regular deck
What's the
building
one
game.
they just came out with? Is that the LCG then?
That's the LCG,
Yeah.
Star Wars Unlimited with the
I've
bad
heard
art.
really good things about that, but the biggest thing is whenever I'm like, oh, I want to get into one of these, and then it's like so hard to get it. I'm like, I don't want to deal with that.
Yep,
You know?
I was just
I don't
bitching to
wanna-
Bob about that.
Yeah, like because even with like Lorcana, which I've played, I think it's kind of people like it. That's cool. It seemed pretty simple to me, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll get into this. And then I was like, I don't want to be like fighting people or trying to find packs on release. So
Right.
that's always been like my hold up into getting into like a TCG or something like that.
Yeah. I anymore now. I just like when our game store, our local game store where we film at, I was buying some of the Star Wars cards because they had them, and I was like slowly kind of getting some stuff. But I buy like a pack or two every week, and then my buddy, he's buying like booster boxes, and stuff. I have a wife and kids, so I don't have that disposable income or desire to be divorced. But it's like, oh, I like picking up a couple packs because I like opening up, seeing what I get, and everything. And then they ran out and they haven't been able to get them back in. And it's like, well,
which is annoying.
And now I don't have the interest or the drive to like get online and like try to track down cards to build like specific. I'm just like, no, I'm good.
Yeah, that's time.
Like,
but the deck builder is just a game you can buy and you have what you need, basically.
Yes,
Yep.
100%.
Exactly.
Oh,
Yes.
I need to check that out. Then I'd probably appreciate that a lot.
Yeah, and it's a 2-player game. You're playing as either the Empire or the Rebellion. And the one thing this one does is the way the lineup goes is there's cards that are specific for the Empire that only the Empire can buy, and there's cards that only the Rebellion can buy, and you can attack the other side's cards and knock them out of the lineup.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool like that.
Yeah,
and it's cheap.
Basically found 2 new Star Wars games I need to pick up.
Yeah, this one's really good. And again, there's a Clone Wars expansion coming out very soon for it.
Well, 2 cheaper Star Wars games and then 1 very expensive. That's a reality.
Right.
Everything is cheaper than Queen's Gambit, right?
Okay, I'll throw one out that I have not watched or played, and I feel like this one sort of just flew under the radars. Last Kingdom.
Netflix series, very good series.
Yeah, Gameland Games made this, and John D. Clare designed it. I saw them selling it at their booth at Gen Con last year. And it kind of reminds me of Game of Thrones. It really does. But I just really haven't heard or seen much about this game. But I've heard the series was good, and because of the designer, publisher, and IP, I was kind of interested in this one.
Yeah, I'm a fan of John D. Clare. I mean,
yeah,
he did Ready Set Bet, which is definitely like,
oh hell yeah, I'm looking at my Ready Set Bet right now.
Yeah,
let's go.
I love that game because I can get anyone to sit. Like, I could have mom play that with me, So like, but you can also have experienced gamers and still have a good time. So I tend to like games that hit those niches where you can keep heavy or more experienced gamers involved, but also like somebody that's not into gaming could join. So like that's a big reason I like Wax of Quinlanburg. Like that's in my top. Ready Set Bet's in my top because they just hit that so well. And so many games are dependent on the group and like who it is. Like I'm not gonna try and play some big heavy game with mom and dad, but I could play Ready Set Bet with them and they could be like, "Ooh, I'm gonna put a 5 chip here and win a bunch of chips," So but I like John D. Clare because of that game. I know he's done a bunch of stuff outside of that. So, but
I'm a big fan. Cubitos is one of my favorite games.
Did he do that one too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
Torpedoes are fun.
dice pool building, and
Yeah.
you're also racing. I just love both those mechanics added
I
together.
played it wrong the first time I played it. I was like, why am I so far ahead of everyone? I wasn't like exhausting my dice the right way.
Nice.
But yeah. But it was fun for sure. But I had somebody kept being like, Cubitos is like Quacks. I'm like, no, it's not. Like I didn't get that.
I don't think it's like Quacks. It's closer to Quarriors.
Yeah,
You know,
I don't
Dice
see
Masters.
that connection personally, but just because of the gameplay, I guess. But maybe
Not like Quacks though, because you're not busting. I mean, I guess you're kind of busting. I think that's it. You draw and you bust. Like that's it. That's the only thing that's the same. Everything else is way different. There's a whole different feel.
Oh yeah.
There's not a race.
Wait, is that true? Because I'll thumb up right now.
Oh my gosh.
Oh wow. Yeah. I'll go last but not least here if I can, because I just love the IP and it's been
You just
amazing.
gonna say that every 5 minutes? Just add another.
Yeah. All right. Fine.
Go for it. No, what is it?
Next. Battlestar Galactica.
They finally did something good with this IP recently. The Fallout series, the TV series was good. I enjoyed it. Make me a good Fallout game though, please. Like this one from Fantasy Flight, that's the only game I've ever played where 4 people 2 hours into a game said, "We don't like this, let's stop playing."
Wow.
And
that's
I heard it came out with an expansion that like improved it, but the problem was to progress the game, you're like pulling from a deck that has different factions, but it's random what factions are going to come out. So you don't always get to progress the game by drawing from the story deck. This is so random. Now I've heard the Fallout Shelter game is pretty good, but it is a like very entry level worker placement game based off of the mobile game. But I've heard this one's pretty good, so maybe I just need to play this one.
I haven't watched the show yet. I'll get around to it.
I haven't watched it either. I've heard good things about the show. The only Fallout, I've actually never beat a Fallout game. I got really close to Fallout Vegas, which, because I lived in Las Vegas when I was playing it, I was like, oh, obviously it was like on a much smaller scale, but I was like, geographically, like all of these things were correct.
All the town names. Yeah.
Which I was like, oh, this is kind of weird, which I really appreciate. But I got really far in that. And I never beat it. I do that with most games. I get really far in them, and then I never beat them because, like, either I step away and like I don't want to go back and learn all the controls and stuff, or like, I just get sad and I don't want it to end. So I've
done that. I've done that. It's like, oh,
I do that with TV shows sometimes too.
I've done that too.
Last episode.
Fallout New Vegas was actually one that I did that too. I played a bunch of it and then never beat it. And then because of the show, I started playing it again about a month ago.
Nice.
And the graphics are terrible, but like the story elements and how like you start doing one thing for these people that pisses off these people and it totally changes how the game ends if you finish it. I always thought was pretty interesting. But yeah, that's basically like probably my favorite IP. Those video games, I love them. But they made a show, so it counts now.
Yeah, I was really excited to play. Fallout came out with, is it like Fallout 37 or Vault 37 or something? It's like a video game. It came out like 3 years ago, 4 years ago, and it was an online one.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just like the solo. And I remember all my friends, we were so excited to get in and play it. And then it's like, this is so bad. It's like, I hate this.
Fallout 76.
Is that what it was? It was so bad.
Terrible at launch. And then I played it for 2 years.
Maybe because I only played at launch and I was like, oh my God. I was like, what is this garbage? And I just never gave it a chance again after like 2 days.
It's a lot better now than it was. They've added a lot of story and things that are more like the old games. It really didn't have a story. They like didn't have NPCs anywhere in the game when it came out. It was just like, wait a minute, this was a story-driven game. Where is all that? It didn't have any.
Good call, Bob.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Oh, Mike, I will say there was one other one that I forgot, and it's probably, again, it's like
keep saying that, Tim.
It's my favorite series of books, and probably an amazing 3 seasons of TV, and that's Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah, yeah. I had the Catan on my honorable mentions because it's the only one I've enjoyed.
Oh, Game of Thrones, Catan. Yeah.
I had a Game of Thrones Risk for a while.
Oh, right on. I play that. I love Game of Thrones.
Yeah, for sure.
But again, I'm a nerd. Read those books first, then the show came out.
Yeah, second edition is probably the one that most people would say is the best one.
Yeah. I need the Mother of Dragons expansion. I don't have that.
I played this a long time ago and just got absolutely destroyed, and it was very hard to enjoy.
You played with the wrong people. Game. You played with the wrong people.
I also made terrible moves. So.
What kind of game is it? Like, what's the play style and all that?
It is a area control, and what you're doing. One of the things I really like about the game is that you are like, you've got these little discs with the actions you're going to assign to your units, but you assign them face down, so people don't know what you're doing as you assign them, and then you simultaneously reveal them, and then there's sort of like a order of resolution, so you can like bluff people into thinking that you're going to attack them, so then they waste a defense disc in that area, so they're not now gaining resources and things like that they could be getting because they're worried you're going to attack them. There's backstabbing because there's all of that stuff. You've got to every once in a while to go up against the wildlings will attack, so everybody's got to commit forces to the wall, and stuff like that. But yeah, it's really fun. I really love this game. Oh, diplomacy. I prefer diplomacy. Yeah, you know what? I own diplomacy. Have yet to play it. I would love to play it, but to me, I've heard diplomacy is the losing your friends game.
I can't lose friends. It's too hard to make them this.
No doubt. No doubt. I don't know, Matt.
In the board game sector, it's pretty easy to make.
I was going to say, every time I go to talk to you at a con, you're talking to like 40 people. You're like the most popular guy there.
Nah, that's Ammon. I just follow him or George.
There you go.
Just follow them, and you'll meet everyone.
There you go. That's what's up. Well, Nix, yeah, I mean, I still want friends because not all of my friends like the same games I do. So I need to have like a wide swath of friends so that I can play games.
I'll be your friend too next.
All the games. All the games.
All the games
and all the live and got a friend. Let's go.
Boop, boop. Well, dude, fantastic list, guys.
Yeah. Thanks for having me again. I appreciate that.
It was awesome. We won't wait
the whole time.
We won't wait 2 years to have you back on. I promise.
It wasn't that long. It was maybe like a year.
It was probably a year.
Know. Yeah, about a year.
It was probably a year.
It seems like it was like right before Origins last year, wasn't it? It has been about a year.
Because it was when I lived in Texas, where I moved to recently, and I think it was like a few months into there. So it's about a year.
Oh, Trevor wants a review of the lists. Yeah, we can review the list real quick. But, and yeah, Forbidden Stars is a crazy good game. 11 months tops. Thanks, Jason. I haven't seen Jason in a while.
I haven't seen Jason in a while. Hey, buddy.
So, yeah, he's back. It must be that Matt's here. So that's good. We'll just have to have Matt back on.
See what happens.
Honestly, and I'll say this on camera so you can hold us accountable, is when you got stuff coming up, man, and you got a few minutes, you want to pop on the show, like, let's do it. Like,
okay.
I mean, we don't have to wait for that, but we will happily help promote. Because we like to help.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
let's do it. I know Michael played that on. I know Michael played that on TTS. That's
also true.
We could film. We could record a TTS play. Michael edit it, pop it up. I'm committing him.
I know. I was actually just looking at your post, looking for people to play tested on there. So we're gonna have to make that happen.
I'm down. Let's do it. I mean, I'm really excited for it because, again, I mentioned this a little bit earlier, but I think there's enough to keep hobby gamers involved, but I could also get people that aren't really hobby gamers to play it, and maybe it takes a round or two, but then they're able to just jump into it, and
I'm
like
telling
that
you,
always feels really good to me.
that meerkat theme automatically gets it in the door at Thanksgiving. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you guys want to play a game with meerkats? My in-laws, my wife, everybody's sitting down. Like, what is it?
I just need a little meerkat plushie as well. That's cute and adorable.
Oh, dude. Listen, if you make, it's getting purchased if you make one. I'm just telling you, because I'll have to bring, because like whenever I go to conventions and like my kids are like, what'd you bring me? So I'll bring them dice and I try to find cool plushies. Fanny packs of mine, hands off. But the other goodies, man.
No, I want a fuzzy pin that will go on the fanny pack of the meerkat.
Okay.
It's got to be fuzzy, though.
That's very specific.
I haven't made a fuzzy pin before. I've done like soft enamel, hard enamel, but I can look into fur pins.
Mike's a furry.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
He just grows his own if you look at his face.
Those costumes are expensive.
Dude, they're crazy.
I saw TikTok the other day and they were talking about it. I was like, you spent how much on that costume? I was like, oh my goodness.
I'd rather build Stormtrooper
really
armor. Yeah.
What?
I'd rather build Stormtrooper armor. You know what I mean?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I've always wanted Stormtrooper armor so bad, and I never had. I need to do that.
Yeah. I want some good 501st armor right there.
Dude, I want one of these guys that are building their own power armor sets. Oh my gosh. The Fallout power armor sets that people are building, I've seen. It's crazy.
I've seen those. I saw somebody was in like a Space Marine costume once where he was up and stuff. Like he was huge. And I was like, wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, that stuff's awesome.
I love cosplay. I think it's so cool, but like I don't have the time. And even if I had the time, like I do not have the creativity or skill set to make any cosplay outfit, unfortunately.
Yeah, same. Look at that. $2,500.
See, that's like I wouldn't like. Obviously, that's like a lot of money, but I'm like, if I was gonna spend that, I want to make sure that armor is like legit as hell. Though.
It's got it right.
I don't want to like knock off Halloween kind of.
No. Yeah,
legit armor,
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. You're not trying to pick up no Dollar Tree power armor.
I don't want the Halloween spirit, like
spirit of Halloween. Yeah. Well, here's the thing, though, is you could $2,500. That's like half of an all-in Kalahari pledge right there. So you're already halfway there. You might as well just save the other $2,500. Go all in for Kalahari, that small box game.
Not quite that much. I'm hoping I can keep Kalahari at 40. I'm starting to get quotes back, but we'll see.
Sure.
It might be like 45, 50 or something. I don't know. I got to see, but I like to try and keep games accessible. Price wise for people, because I want people to play them and have fun. I don't want people to be like, oh man, I'm breaking my bank to do this.
Right.
So, hence the tiny games.
And also what a great way. I don't know. To me, it seems like a really wonderful way to, as a publisher, to get some games in your library, right? Because they've got to be at least way more affordable to make as well, right? So then you can move copies and and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm really happy with how it's been going and how it's been received. I got several more in the works, and I'm just excited for the future, to be honest.
Yeah.
I have Kalahari in the works and one other big game called Museo. And then outside of that, I think the focus is going to be just kind of like tiny games for the indefinite future. So any designers watching, because I know a bunch come in here, tiny games.
I'm telling you, we're going to find Whitney. We're going to find her and be like, hey, when's your tiny game coming out?
Yeah.
I heard
you're going to make a tiny game for his line, or you should make a tiny game for Matt's line.
I mean, we're all waiting.
John Wood. That guy makes all kinds of tiny games.
Yeah.
We're waiting. All right, let's run through our list real quick, just one last time. And I'll start. I'll say my game and my movie or whatever, if it's not obvious, because with mine, at least they weren't always obvious. So anyways, my number 5 was Tricarion and the movie's Prestige. There was another movie. What was it? With Ed Norton that kind of came out at the same time, but no, it was a magician movie. The Illusionist.
Yeah.
The Illusionist. Anyway, so Tricarion / Prestige. Number 4, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the Trick or Treat version. And then my number 3 was Narcos, TV show Narcos. My number 2, Spartacus Blood and Sand, the cool old version. And then my number 1 was Thunder Road Vendetta, aka Mad Max. Yeah, I tried, Trevor. I tried. So that's my list, 5 through 1. Matt.
Mine were in no particular order, but I had Bob Ross, Art of Chill. Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah.
I had Star Wars: The Queen's Gambit, rail game, The Goonies, and Battlestar Galactica.
Yes.
Nice. I had Star Wars Rebellion, classic. The Thing Outpost at 31.
So good.
It's insane. Sons of Anarchy, another Gale Force 9 game. Dune Imperium, and Tim's second favorite game of all time, Wonderland's War.
I just had a miserable experience the one time I played it, and that's not fair to judge the entire game on that, but I will play it again, but not with 5 and not with some specific people.
I mean, he does continue to judge, but he's not, we're not going to count him for it.
I'm a cranky old man. What do you want?
Good stuff. Good list. Good topic pick.
Dang clouds and wind out here.
Get off my lawn.
Nature. Get on out of here.
Yeah, I'm yelling at my own kids. Get off my lawn. Now get back in the yard. Get on the street. It's terrible. There you go, Nick's.
Classic one. People don't really talk about that one.
Scratch.
I never played it, and I didn't watch the show until like a year ago, and I've only watched the first season. I thought it was good, but my problem is sometimes everybody was like, "Oh, it's so good," blah blah blah, and like people talk about it so much that it gets annoying. And it's like I don't want to watch it. Like I'll just wait. I'll just wait until like all of the hype is down off of it, and then I'll watch it later, and then be like, "Oh yeah, that was pretty good."
That happens to me a lot too.
So,
but also, in my defense, I didn't know there was a game for that, so I did not know there was a Sons of Anarchy board game. Thanks for hanging out, Andrew.
Thanks, Andrew.
Yeah,
we'll see you at Origins.
Yeah, Andrew needs to go by your booth there, Matt. Hit you up.
Come stop by. Love to meet you.
Hit you up. All right, boys. This has been awesome. I think we should let Matt get on to running a multi-million-dollar board game company, and then
hopefully one day
/ fanny pack manufacturing.
The business is going to end up transitioning into fanny.
It's just all fanny packs that may or may not have board games in them.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's cool. What you really need to do now is if you've got like with the Kalahari, you need to get like some animal print fanny packs to go along, right? Like really loud zebra print. Like I'm thinking of the old Zubos pants, like.
Yeah, I'll have to look into that. I'll have to hit up my fanny pack plug, see what's possible.
Yeah. I'm an ideas guy. Implementation, I can't help you. I'll spout out all the BS. Until something's like.
We just need a fuzzy zebra one. That's
oh boy.
Now we're talking.
So you want the fuzzy stuff? You want the zebra print? All right, got it. We'll figure it out. We'll make something happen.
Right, but the guys are on a mission to come back with fanny packs for me, or a fanny pack for me from Origins. It's happening. So
let's do it.
But anyways, Mike, you got anything else before we sign off? We wrap up.
No, it's been a lot of fun. Good pick on the topic tonight.
Yeah, man. It was a really good time. Look, this is now we had these shirts made when we went
Star
to
Wars
Disney.
text, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
We went to Disney. So I wore this. My brother-in-law wore one that said pew, and then my son wore one that says pew pew, but it's in like smaller. So yeah, because like the girls had different shirts, they were themed something else, and so the boys, we all just wore shirts that said pew pew pew. So
I like that. Nice.
Yeah. But
all right, well, thanks guys for having me on. I really
Yeah.
appreciate it. I had a good time. Always like drinking whiskey with you guys, even though Mike was drinking water. Make him drink whiskey with me at Origins or
there you go.
I guess. But
I'm down. Let's do it.
Thanks everyone that watched and hung out, and have me on another time, please.
We will 1,000,000% do that. 1,000,000%. All right, guys. Well, as always, y'all are the best. Thank you so much for being here for the board game rundown. I've been Tim.
I was Mike.
I was Mathue.
Yeah, I did it. We'll see you next time.
See ya
later.
What? Good job, Stonemeyer. A 7.3 repeating. Heating.